Good morning. Oh, the chat's hopping this morning. Matt will be up in just a second. I just want to do our good mornings, do a little intro, and then we will bring Matt up. I know you're all excited. I hope you brought some questions for him. So there is his channel. I'm sure all of you have already subscribed, but just in case you aren't, there's his channel that you can go click on. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Carrie. Good morning, Mary Beth. DM874. Sorry, I don't know your name, so I'll just say good morning to DMN874. Good morning, Shawanda. Yes, your blanket does sound beautiful. Okay, so there is oops, I took away Matt's look. Okay, all right. So we will go over some sales in a little bit. I know, your friendly enabler. Your inspiration sale is on for one more day if there's anything left. At this point. I can't see my floor right now because I literally am covered in yarn boxes because the sales have got me. Okay. Boy, everybody's hopping. So good morning, Pat. Catherine. Good morning. This is the Catherine who sent me that incredible surprise yarn box that you all saw me open yesterday. So thank you, Catherine. I get to tell you sort of in person. I already sent you an email and everything, but thank you so much. It was a lot of fun, and I have so many ideas that I want to make. So there's Matt Singh. Okay, are you ready? We are going to bring Matt up and add him to the stage. And there he is.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, what's the weather like where you are today?
It's not too bad today. Our high is only going to be like 76 or something like that. So I'm like, where's my actual summer weather? That's what I want. But it's all right.
Yeah,
It'll
it's
be
it's been like that here too. We actually had like in the 90s in May, and then we had a frost the first week of June.
no.
It's just topsy turvy, and it's been coolish, but I think we got to like 88 yesterday. I think it's supposed to be similar today. It's gorgeous out, and we have just enough nice days, and I get a day of rain, so I don't have to water anything. So that's kind of nice. But I will be watering this evening because there's no rain in the forecast, I think, until this weekend. But I'm not a summer girl. I like summer for gardening, but I don't like 105-degree weather.
So I'm like, give me the 80s. The 80s, I'm fine with. It could stay in the 80s. When it goes into the 90s, it's a little too much for me. And if it's below the 80s, it's not quite enough for me.
My husband
live in
would prefer.
California, except for I can't handle natural disasters, and there's one thing we really never get in Ohio. So
Yeah, that's like, I mean, I'll take the blizzards in winter over the tornadoes and the hurricanes. I was in Florida for 3 hurricanes 2 years ago. My father had unexpectedly passed, and my parents were living in Florida, and I went down there to spend time with my mom and to help her. And 3 hurricanes came through while I was there, and it was terrifying.
I used to live.
Terrifying.
I used to live in Virginia. So in my 20s, I was doing the thing where I was taking all the promotions and going to the different places and through my job, and just like I'd go wherever there was an opening. And so I lived in Georgia for a while, and I lived in Virginia for a while. Georgia, I couldn't do because I lived in Middle Georgia. I lived in Macon, and anyone from the area, if you know what a Georgia water bug is, it's a big, giant, 4-inch long flying cockroach, and they were everywhere there.
Yeah.
And so I said, no, no, Matt's not made for this. I can't do this. I mean, you just don't get rid of them. And then when I lived in Virginia, I lived through a really, really terrible earthquake to the point where it made my apartment building shake so much all of the water pipes came loose, and it was like rainfall through
Oh.
my ceiling and stuff in my apartment. Everything flooded. It was terrible. We had all these problems and stuff. And I was just like, I'm not made for natural disasters. We get a little bit of rain in Ohio. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said to my husband, I said, I'll take a good old nor'easter blizzard any day
Yeah,
over it was what was it? It was I can't even remember the names of them, but they were the ones. It was bad. And where my parents were living, they had gone 40 years. My aunt and uncle who've lived there for 40 years never had anything happen. That was the year something happened to
yeah,
their home. It was atrocious. So it was terrifying. It was so scary listening to that wind, and we had boarded up all the windows and stuff and prepared. And it was, my mother, they got hit bad with Ian. Ian really just did a lot of damage to my parents'
yeah.
home. But this one, yeah, it was scary. So, my husband would like it to be 70 degrees. That's as high as he wants it to be. He hates the heat, hates it, hates it. He's very hot blooded. So we never mesh on temperature ever.
Yeah. My husband and I don't agree on temperature either. He believes that the air should be running year round. He
Yep.
drives me crazy because like it'll be the dead of winter. I'm not kidding. It'll be like 10 below, and he's turning air on in the car or rolling the window down, and I'm like, what is the matter with you? He's like, I have to have air moving. I'm like, you're messed up.
Yeah. My husband keeps saying, like, he says, when am I going to get to that age where I'm cold? Where am I going to get to it? Because he's all the time. Like he said, he goes, you hate being cold, and cold affects me differently because I have neuropathy from chemo. So it hurts me when I'm cold. And
Yeah.
he's like, you know how miserable you are with you when you're cold? That's how I feel when it's too hot. So yeah, I definitely, I'm not looking for, I don't like it when I'm like you, 80s with no humidity, lovely. Sit
Yeah.
outside in my gazebo. I can have a cold cup of iced tea, crochet, and I'm not sweating. Once it gets
See,
up above there, that's forget it.
the Canada kills us in the wintertime because we have the Canadian winds that come across Lake Erie. I'm in like the Cleveland area. We have the winds from Canada come straight across Lake Erie, and it gets really bad because when Lake Erie freezes,
Oh yeah,
because Lake Erie is the shallowest lake, it'll freeze completely, pretty much.
right.
That's when we get just pounded with snow. But it's so weird here in the wintertime. We have an area that's called like the snow belt, and it's like the eastern side of Cleveland will get pounded with feet and feet and feet of snow, and then the west side of Cleveland will be like an inch. So
Yeah,
weird.
that's like where we live here in Ontario. We have lake effect snow because
Yes,
they're closer to Lake
yes.
Ontario,
Hmm.
and they will and they're less than 30-minute drive from us, which is
Uh-huh.
hysterical. They will get like schools canceled. You can't even see across the street, and we're like, we've gotten like an inch.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing how that water will change things. So
I used to work out in the snow belt here, and I would have to drive into work. And it was always a mixed bag. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to be driving into
yeah.
today.
Yeah, it's crazy because how my husband always says where we live, we're in a hole. Because if you look on the map, we're actually so a lot of things will go over us.
Okay.
The huge big ice storm of '98, if any of you you remember that, it was cold that day. It was beautiful, sunny, blue sky. My mother calls and is like, "Are you guys okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Because we hadn't even turned on the TV that morning, nothing. And apparently there was this huge ice storm all around us. People had no power. It had knocked down huge towers, everything. And we had nothing here in our area. Like, nothing. We've made up for it. We've had two pretty bad ice storms the last 3 years here. So yeah, I not to that extent, but enough. But
This last winter was a little brutal here. It was a lot more brutal than it has been in the past.
yeah, we kind of had a what we should have for winter here. Like we've been kind of
Yeah,
like,
I know.
hold on a second, Lily wants in. Come come on, hurry up. She doesn't like it when I close the door at all. So, are you going to get up in the chair? Oh, you want to say hi? Okay. All right. You can sit up here for a minute. You say hi. Hello. Yes, yes, I know.
Aw.
I've been so busy the last week. She's upset with me because I haven't been able to give her the attention that she needs. So, I do want to mention, in case you all didn't know, Premier's big sale, July 7th to the July 13th, is coming. And I kept promising myself I wasn't going to buy any more yarn until then. And I put in 3 orders this week. Um, The sales get me at 40% off at Fat Yarn Inspirations.
60% off if you use the coupon code.
Yeah, yeah. The coupon never works for me. I have an awful time that I've tried to get the Red Heart vintage book pattern for free that they have. You just put in your email. I've put in all 5 of the different emails I have. I've yet to receive it. It's supposed to be within a few minutes of you. I just can't. Yeah, I don't know why. Here, let me put me down here a bit there. But yeah, they have a few things, and there are going to be a lot more things going on. I've made a list of what I need. If these things aren't on the sale, yes, hello, I'm not going to buy them. That's my because I truly, we make joke of being yarn, yeah, being yarn addicts, but it is becoming, and my husband is no help because he's too supportive. I said, if you would get angry, it would make it a lot easier for me.
Right. In the beginning, when I had a lot of boxes coming, he would get frustrated with me. And now, just like the other day when I had another one come, I'm like, you don't see the box. And he's like, I don't even care anymore.
Well, what I did was I sent him a text at work last week and I said, how angry would you be if I told you I had 8 boxes of yarn coming this week? And he's like, well, and then I said, well, you can be relaxed. It's only 3. So that made it a lot easier. So there's your tip. Tell them a lot more is coming. So when the real amount comes, they don't think it's so bad.
Well, I try to hide the boxes before he gets home.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Or he'll come in and I'm like, oh no, those boxes have been here. I'm just sorting through yarn. No, they're not. They arrived 2 days ago.
Right, exactly. Oh no, the other day I had a massive box on my front stoop, and Max is like, "What did you buy?" I'm like, "It was just plastic totes, but they were totes for the." But he didn't need to know that.
So I guess we could go right into it. Matt and I talking about buying yarn. Matt and I have a lot in common. It's one of the reasons I love his channel. One, we both love teal. Love the color teal. I have teal in my house. I wear a lot of teal. I work with a lot of teal colors, blues and greens. It's my favorite color.
You can see it's on heavy repeat on the wall behind
me. Yeah, me too. You can probably see a lot of the teals there. And now that I have Etsy, I have to step outside my box because other people like other colors, Lynn. So you need to start making other colors. We're also yarn addicts. We're very much so yarn addicts. We can't miss. We have a tendency to buy yarn when it's on sale, even when we absolutely do not need more yarn. But the logic we have is, I don't need it, but look at the price.
Do you know what? I'm really proud of myself yesterday. I'll share this little win because I went, I don't know if you saw the Amazon Prime sale, but so on Amazon Prime had a sale, and if you click the haul button, the Amazon haul area, they had yesterday the yarns on there were like, they had some really dirt cheap, like unbelievable deals. I didn't get any of them. And Mary Maxim had that really big sale, and I had so much stuff in my cart, and I did not order it. So that, baby steps.
Yeah, I did the same. I had an order on Mary. They keep saying, "Did you forget something?" I'm like, "No, I'm just not doing it."
Right. Yeah. No.
I really am trying to be good until the big sale with Premier.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I'm really curious to see everything that they're going to have on sale. I know the cotton sprouts will be on sale because that's on the little postcard.
Yeah, that's on the card. For those of you who may hear, I'm going to hold this up. You all can see that in case you all haven't put a Premier order in the last week or so. These are what they're saying. And then there's going to be more. This is just kind of giving us. So I'm like, of course the cotton sprout's going to be on because it's like one of my all-time favorite yarns ever.
And I held off buying the the new one that they came out with, the basics DK multi. I didn't buy any of it.
No,
because I said, I bet you that they're going to put the whole basics line on sale on the July 7th sale, because I think they did last year. So
yeah. Well, just so everyone knows, my video tomorrow, I actually got 3 of those new basic multis, and I did up samples, so you'll see the 3 that I picked. And yeah, I only got 3. I just bought 3 because I'm like you. I'm like, I bet you these are going to be on they might go down. I'm thinking maybe they're normally 3 something, so I'm thinking maybe they'll go down to 250. I'm thinking maybe, or maybe they'll do bundles. Last summer I cleaned up on their bundles when they would put a bunch of yarn in a bundle and you could get it. Yeah, those are the good deals. So yeah, I did order some hipster that came in that because of your crochet along that you're going to be hosting mid-July. We'll get to that in a little bit too, but yeah, I needed one more because I'm like, oh, I probably need 5. So I thought I better get one more. Well, it was still on sale too. So
I just got some more. I got some more of the faded monochrome.
yeah.
Because I want to make the cardigan out of the faded monochrome so bad in my crochet along, but I'm saying no. I'm saying I'm going to stick with the colors that I chose, but I did buy this so I could do one later.
I bought the Fall Vibes hipster cotton. I bought one more. I bought 4 more of them because I only had one. Because I'm like, after I make this one with Matt, I'm going to make a fall one in the Fall Vibes. So I did the same thing.
I'm telling you, it's so hard. Like I love that. I saw Linda's
Blanket.
CC blanket that she's
Yeah.
making, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's gorgeous.
Now, I will say for us here in Canada, the Amazon Prime, there were no crochet deals yesterday. That not to say I didn't buy things on Prime days because there were some things I've had in my cart that I've been waiting to see, and they did go on. My husband had a couple of things too, so we did pick up a few things. And they're all arriving today. But we had nothing crochet related, no deals that made me say,
I
"Oh, wow."
was not impressed with the Prime deals on regular Amazon. It was the Amazon haul that had the deals. But it's so funny because I had a bunch of stuff in my cart and it was like late last night and I'm like, oh well, it said it's going on for 3 days. So I left it in my cart and I said, I'm gonna sleep on it and then I'll see if I still want it tomorrow. And then when I went in this morning, the prices were back to their regular pricing.
Price. Yeah. Yeah, I do that too. I'll put it in. I'm like, I'll put it in here for a couple of days. One, if you put something in your cart and you let it sit there long enough, surprisingly, you'll get it'll go on sale. So I often do that because usually they want you to buy it, so they will put it on sale.
Yeah.
But these were things that I did get a few techie things for filming. I got a new tripod filming arm so I can do better overhead shots. I've gone through so many trying to find the right one. So hopefully this one will work.
I finally found one, but I had to like buy one and buy other things to modify it to make it exactly how I want it. So
yeah. So my husband found this one for me and he says, what do you think of this? And it actually stands on the floor by itself. And I'm like, you know what? I think that's what I need because where I film, it's such a thick table. I can't get the one big enough to clamp on.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, let's try this. Let's try this one. Though I think we may have gotten it, but another reason I wanted to invite Matt on because we both love crochet. We both love it. And I'm just excited to talk to him about primarily how he comes up with his designs for his blanket. So my first question, Matt, is how did you get into designing crochet patterns?
I always like to have things be my own touch to them, no matter kind of what I'm doing. And I've always liked kind of designing and putting things together. So my dad, when I was younger, taught me how to do woodworking. I have my garage is all kinds of woodworking equipment. Don't use it as much as I used to, but I always liked putting things together and designing things and making things with my hands and all that. And I just like the creative process. So like for me, my biggest thing with like designing is I look up like a million pictures online of what other people have done. And I just think, well, what would I do differently? Maybe I like a little piece from this and I like a little piece from that. Or I'm looking through my crochet books and I'm like, well, that stitch kind of goes or would look cool with that. I wonder how that would look with that. And so I just kind of play around. Like this is literally what I'm doing right now. I posted my video this morning of this Just Yarn ombre. And I'm literally like designing a whole new square that has never existed before in my hand right now. So.
I just started to watch your channel, and I'm like, I can't keep watching because I overslept today. So I was scrambling to get ready of all days to oversleep. So again, I think that's another thing we have in common. I always like putting, whether it's crochet or anything, cooking, baking. I typically like to do my own spin
Yeah,
too. I
I
think
do
we're
like
just creative people. I
people come
think.
out with really beautiful things, and I like to use it as inspiration and think, okay, that's really cool. Um, of course, now that I have the YouTube channel, I'm like, that's really cool. Love that. Can't make the same thing because then I wouldn't be able to do a tutorial or anything
That's
on my
so
channel.
hard.
So I'm like, let me think about what I can do differently to kind of make it my own and not just like tweak one little thing, but like actually make it unique.
Right.
And so, enter the creative process.
Yeah. It's so hard with the tutorials because people ask me for them a lot. But if I'm using and even if I tweak it, like you said, tweaking it still doesn't make it mine. Like, changing maybe I don't like the way they finished this row. So I did this. Well, that doesn't make it my pattern because I changed one row. So it does make it hard. I am trying to do more original things so I can share. And like, as you can see, behind me, this is Matt's pattern for his mitered granny square, which I still did it different than you. I did, different color, but I also only did two. I did the bitty stripes and just white. That's another thing Matt and I have in common. We are lovers of the bitty stripes. Love, love, love them.
Oh yeah.
Love them.
Like I said, I have all 29 flavors of them.
I don't have all the colors because there are a couple that just like to me though you've made me rethink some of them because I'm like, oh, well, when you put them with that, I kind of like it. Like I'm not usually a purple girl, but the is it Dawn?
Now Dawn's the blue one. It's Indigo is the new one that they just came out with in February. And then I think
Yes.
Great Me is the one that they had a little while before that. I didn't know if I was going to love the Indigo, but when I was putting that series together, it goes with so many things so
Yeah.
nice.
That's what made me go, oh, maybe I do like that after all. So yeah, so I love the bitty. I finally got my festive that came yesterday from your
Oh,
inspiration. I
good.
missed out the first time it sold out before I could get it. So and it's so much nicer in person. Oh my gosh. I need to learn how to crochet in my sleep because I don't know how I'm going to make everything I want to make by Christmas this year.
I want to do a country themed Christmas blanket with the festive.
That's what I'm
Um,
doing. When you put those two colors up and you said this is kind of a country Christmas, my ears literally went, what? Because that's how I do rustic farmhouse country.
yeah.
And I'm like, that's what I'm pairing my festive with right there.
So I'm not 100% sure yet. I have two Christmas blanket ideas, and one is the festive with claret and medium thyme. And then the other one is I have some of the shades of the Premier Gradient. And they have sangria. I think it's the fern green, and then the fawn tones.
Yep.
That those three kind of put together read to me like 1960s mid-century modern Christmas.
Yep.
So, one of those I'm gonna do.
I know. I'm trying to limit myself to one Christmas blanket, and it's going to
Oh,
be
me too.
with the festive. I'm like, I got to be realistic about how many I can
Last
really
year
make.
I made the tree skirt, and I did it with hexies. I made it out of hexies, and I designed the hexie pattern and everything, and that was so much work. It was way more work than I thought it was going to be for the tree skirt. Almost just as much work as a blanket.
Yeah, I did my Christmas tree skirt a few years ago, but we have more than one tree, so now I need to make two more, and that's why I bought the crossword shimmer puzzle. Our Mary Maxim in Canada still have it. I think they still have some, And then Catherine sent me some in that surprise box. So I'm like, yay, I can finish making my tree skirts for all my trees to match now. So was there a specific moment when you thought, I think I can design my own patterns? Like, did you just think, wait a minute, I think I can do this myself?
Well, I wouldn't say that there was a specific moment. There was more like a moment where I got more confident in my skills to design more than just like granny squares, because I had several blankets that I had put together that were made with granny squares. And I feel like that's a good place that you can start and feel confident in your design skills, because there's so many different kinds of ways that you can put a granny square together. You know, pick your different color variations, what have you. Like this, it's hard to see, but that blue one that's up there at the top, I made that one like 3-4 years ago, and I got a little bit more emboldened with my design choices, and it was just how I laid out the granny squares, and I did the colors in a different way. I also made another granny square blanket that I gave to a family member, and I really went a little bit more out with that. So I think granny squares are a really good spot where you can start designing in different ways, and then you're going to build your confidence up and feel like you can take on more things, more challenging things.
Okay, I love a good granny square. Love them. Why do you
Well,
think?
you know, I do too, because half my patterns are still granny squares. They're just not
Yeah,
all.
I just love them. I think they're, timeless. Like, I mean, here we are in 2026, and I think they're more popular than ever, I think.
Mhm.
You got the people who hate them, but
Oh,
I love them.
some people have feelings about them.
Yep, they sure do. They sure do. What drew you to designing blankets in particular?
I don't know. Blankets were. That's how my mom taught me when she taught me how to crochet. The only thing she knew how to make was blankets. So my mom she made macrame wall hangings when I was growing up, and even before I was born. So she would do those, and then she would make blankets, baby blankets, or a throw for the couch or something like that. And I don't know, this just kind of how I got started. I have done a few wearables and things like that, and then, more household items. However, blankets are just my first love. I feel like you can really um, play around with your designing a little bit more with blankets, for sure.
Oh, yes. I
Because the
blankets are
wearables, it's
great
like,
too to just sit and work on too, right?
yes. Well, and that's the thing. So for me, the one thing that draws me to the blankets is um, I like to have something mindless where I don't have to think about it. I can pick out a pattern and I can just go to town, because crochet is my mental health therapy as well.
Yep.
Um, that's how I kind of work through and regulate all the craziness of life. I don't do other crazy things. I just kind of crochet. And sometimes, if it's a hard day, I might be up till 1 o'clock in the morning just crocheting and having a reel or something go on TV.
Yep.
But so I like the blankets because I don't have to think about it. When I'm making a cardigan or a wearable or something, I have to think about it a little bit more. I have to count my stitches and count my rows and all this other stuff. I don't really have to do that with blankets. It's just it's pretty easy, I think.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. It's one of the reasons why I actually learned how to knit first years ago before crochet, and I gave it up because I found I had to concentrate way too much. I couldn't sit and watch a movie with my husband because I'd be like, "Oh no!" So yeah,
What did I just do?
yeah. And then
Yeah.
it's like, it's not as easy to frog knitting as it is. At least it wasn't for me. So yeah, crochet is also my mental therapy, and Linda and I were talking, and we were laughing. I said I couldn't figure why I was so out of sorts this other day. I'm like, what is wrong? And I kept thinking, I'm forgetting something. What's going on? And is there an appointment? And what it was is it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I had not done any crocheting yet that day. I typically do a little bit in the morning with my first cup of tea to kind of wake up. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I got some in, and I immediately could feel my blood pressure lowering, my stress level. So yeah, it's absolutely, it became physical therapy for me. I picked it up for physical therapy, but it's become so much more. And I'm trying to use it to help lose weight too, because when I feel like I want a snack, I'm like, no, go pick up your hook instead, Lynn.
So my worst thing is like I was always like a late night snacker. I had the hardest time like
Yeah.
not having a snack late at night. So I actually like when I do a lot of my crochet in the evenings after the kids have gone to bed and stuff, I come down in the basement and I'm doing my crocheting and stuff down in the basement because I'm nowhere near the fridge.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah. And it's for me, it's like gummy bears, chocolate almonds, because they're easy to eat while you're crocheting.
Mhm.
So yeah, no, that yeah. um Kind of answered that. I'm just looking through my questions here. Okay, when you're starting a new blanket, what usually comes first? The color, the stitch pattern, or overall concept?
That's a hard one. I would say the color comes first for me. I think about what colors do I want to make in the blanket. And then when I am putting something together, when I'm ordering my yarn, typically I want to be able to have like my whole idea before I hit the order button on the yarn, because then the worst thing that could happen is you didn't order enough, and then so that little blue blanket up there, I played yarn chicken and lost horribly and had to get really inventive because they had discontinued the main yarn.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah,
That is.
I used Karen funnel cakes on that, and I loved it. And I had to get really creative, and I filled in with latte cakes in a lot of the areas that I really needed more funnel cake. So I learned my lesson hard on that blanket, and so I think of the color that I want to do. And then I try to get a general concept in my mind. Am I going to be doing this in a granny square? Am I going to be doing this row by row? I try to think about if I'm going to do it more row by row, what kind of stitch am I at least thinking of? And then I try to think, is that a yarn eating stitch, or is it going to be like generally, okay? And then I will place my order. So I generally over order, but this is because I've been burned. You never know when something's getting discontinued.
That's that my nemesis blanket that I called it, that I did your shell stitch tutorial I seen, and I'm like, I had changed because I was going to do something else and I had enough yarn. And then I made this mistake of changing my mind when I saw that shell stitch you did. And I ordered yarn 3 times to finish that blanket because I just was never getting enough. It is a yarn eater. And the skeins I was using too, it's the Bloom Chunky, it's discontinued, the Sea Holly. And I kept panicking, like, are they going to run it? I'm going to run out and they're not going to have this anymore. So I over ordered my last order. I have like 3 left now, but I'm like, I'll make something with them.
That's my only gripe with Premiere is they tend to discontinue yarns sometimes. So I like their steady Eddie ones that are going to be around for a while, like the basics and some of the multis and some of the gradients and stuff like that. The ones that that they're not getting rid of that anytime soon. I love designing with those ones. I'll also say this, that I didn't used to be a fan of variegated yarn. Like,
oh wow.
And it's shocker because that's like everything that I do. Yeah. Because I didn't really understand variegated yarn. I saw projects that people made that were all variegated yarn, and it just looked so busy to me
Yeah.
and it wasn't my vibe. And so once I discovered how to really pair the variegated yarn with more solid color pairings, I just think it elevates it so much and changes the look of the project to like a completely different level. So that's where I really fell in love with the variegated yarns. I feel like they add such a great element to a project. I'm just not a fan of using nothing but the variegated yarn. Although
I've always loved
self-striping,
variegated. Yeah. I love the variegated, but you've helped open my eyes to see how I can use it with some solid colors or even some other variegateds that, because I'm going to admit, sometimes you'll put up some bitty stripes together and I'm like, really? Like, and then when you do the sample up to them, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they totally work.
uh-huh.
So yeah, I think, and that's what's so fun. Like, you don't have to take it so serious. And if it doesn't work, you can always frog it.
Right. Yeah. The bitty
Right?
stripes I really like because bitty stripes I see as more like a self-striping yarn. And self-striping yarns you can do so much more with, but some of the really short shade variegated yarns, those ones are tougher. But I'm telling you, I have so much that runs through this head. So many projects that run through this
I
head.
know.
And I have fantastic ideas, but there's just
Yeah.
not time in the day.
You have a question, Matt. So we'll just go to this. How do you keep variegated yarn from looking so busy?
So the way that you keep it from looking so busy, number one, you find the solid shades to pair it with, and I like to use it more as an accent and not the main show. So for example, if I was using a square, if I was just designing or putting together a square, I might join everything with the variegated yarn. And that can really elevate it. Or I might do the center of my square all in the variegated yarn and move into more of a solid. So a really good example of that would be in this guy right here, this one, which is the coral reef blanket that I made. That one, like the whole center is all variegated yarn, but it just makes it look like every square is just a little bit different, but it pulls everything together because the outsides of the square and the joining is all done in solid colors.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I wasn't sure I liked coral reef, and then when I seen you do your blanket up, and then when Linda showed it to me, well, more in person through her lens, it's beautiful colorway. It's not. I don't think the pictures online do it justice because it really.
Mm-hmm.
I love shopping online because Lynn hates going into the stores now. But yarn is so tricky because it can look so different.
Oh my gosh, it really does, and it's all on the photography. It's so funny because Linda turned me on to loops and threads, the classic cotton, right? They're Michaels, and their big balls that they have. The photography on Michael's website is horrific. It's just the colors don't look anything like they look in person, not even remotely.
They don't.
So it's that kind of stuff happens too. So and you'll get something and it looks completely different, and sometimes it's a really good different, and sometimes maybe not so much.
It's funny too because the loops and thread cotton, the big ball is so much softer than the small, which is weird because they're both, aren't they?
So the big ball, you could use that as a wearable. You could make a wearable out of it.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't you dare make a wearable out of that little tiny bolt or bullet or whatever it's called.
It's very much there. It's like this, the sugar and cream. To me, it's exactly like the sugar and cream or peaches and cream.
Oh, no, the little one.
The little ball.
Just like sugar and cream, if not even a little scratchier. But the big one, it's like
lovely.
I have pot holders that I've made out of it, and it's just so soft.
And it's like you're the same. I don't understand why making it in the bigger ball. I don't, and they don't say it's a different weight. They don't say it's a
And they
different
don't have
100%
all of the
cotton.
colors in the bigger ball
Yeah,
either.
Linda, I hear about that from Linda a lot. She's like, I wish they would come out with more colors and more variation, variations and stuff. She said, I wish they would, because she goes, I would buy it all.
I'm really interested. So I don't know if you saw Maxine's video on Hirschner's cotton, and I saw it and I ordered. So I haven't got it in yet, but she did a review on the cotton cones that they have there, and it's like the cottage cotton, I think it's called.
Yeah, I have
Um,
cottage cotton from Hirschner's.
yeah, or I don't know, is it the cottage cotton? I don't know. It's the regular like kitchen cotton stuff, right? But she did a review on the cones that they were selling, and they have a ton of colorways, and she was saying how soft it is. So I went
Oh,
so I went on and I ordered a couple of the cones on there. They haven't got here yet, but I'm really curious because they have some really, really pretty colorways.
I'll have to, because I do have the cottage cotton. It's a cotton blend. It,
No, it's not that one. So the
okay.
cottage cotton I have, which is the blend, you can't really make household items out of that.
No, no.
But the other one that they have, gosh, what is it called? I can't think of what it's called.
Let me just look it up real quick while we're talking
Yeah,
about it here.
it's it's
Matt's here we are influencing me.
I mean, what is it called? Like the village cotton, maybe? Hold
Okay,
on.
let me look it up. Village
I'm
cotton.
looking it
I
up.
used to order from Hirschner's a lot, but things have changed a lot for us with the tariffs and everything. So it
Well,
makes it more expensive for shipping for me.
and I don't know if they do it for Canada, but like I put the stuff in my cart, I left Hirschner's, and an hour later I had a free shipping code emailed to me. It's craft cotton. It's the Village Yarn craft cotton, and
Okay,
they
I think
sell
I
it.
found
Yeah, they sell it in the small little bolts, and then they sell it in the big cones, and then they also have curated color packs that they have put together as well. And
Oh, look at all the colors.
there's a ton of colors. Now, I didn't get any of the little ones, so I don't know if the texture is different with the little ones. I ordered the cones, which were like $16.99 or something like that.
Okay, so
And
comparable to the price for other cones.
yeah, and Maxine said that they were soft, and so they really do have some pretty colorways. She didn't do up big samples, but she did up little samples, and they had there really is a lot of colorways to choose
Wow, I think if y'all can see this. Yeah, okay. I'm just looking through. I can't get over the colors in the, oh, I love this meadow one.
from.
Oh, that's calling to Lynn.
I got
Great,
the
Matt. Just
purple.
what I need.
I got the purple one. Like if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, I got the eggplant, and then if you go down a little bit further, they have the purple, that one, royalty. I got royalty and the eggplant, and I'm gonna put those together because I saw the royalty one. Maxine did a swatch of that, and it's just gorgeous.
Oh, I'm curious because I am my goal this year is to be doing more wearables, and I like using cotton for wearables because it's breathable and it's better. But
She said it's soft enough for wearables, is what she said. So.
okay, I am going to hopefully maybe they'll have they usually have a big sale in the summer too because I ordered a lot from them last summer.
I like when they have the they just had a 20% off. Because I placed an order when they had the 20% off too. But yeah, they'll probably have another one where they at least.
Yeah, I never get free shipping to Canada through them. Sometimes I'll get a lower rate, but I've never had free shipping.
Do you ever get like the 25-cent shipping that they have? No, they don't do that.
Never available to Canada, ever. Their last big sale they had, where if you spent so much, that didn't apply to Canada. And I went in and I'm like, okay. So I went in and spent so much, and it was like another $45 in shipping. And I'm like, oh, I just can't do it.
Well,
no
and It's so tough because they're just right there in Wisconsin. They're not that, they could probably throw it across the border.
Yeah, and it doesn't take long when, I mean, I should say that, but the cottage cotton, I ordered that the day after Christmas, Boxing Day, because they had a big sale on it. I did not start receiving it until February and March.
Wow.
And I'm like, and I wouldn't mind so much, but they take the money right away. Like they
Yeah.
took the payment right away. And I'm like, okay, no. And finally, like when the first deadline went by, when they say I would have it, I called. And they were very, very nice. I'll say I had no problem. And they were saying they were having it was definitely back ordered, but it was still coming. And then the second deadline got missed. And I'm like, am I getting, like, I was starting to get nervous, like, did I get scammed? I'm like, no, I've ordered from Hirschner's for years. So I called a set, and then finally, yeah, it started. One showed up, and then the other two came like a month after that.
So
So
was the shipping always more for Canada, or is it that just kind of started with the tariffs?
it's always been, we've always, I'm trying to not use my potty mouth. We have always gotten the short end of the stick. There we go. Living in Canada when it comes to any kind of shipping or customs, but it's gotten my English. It has just, it's so much worse. It's
Yeah.
so much worse. I'm so grateful for Premiere that everything is like, I don't have to pay anything extra when it shows up, because sometimes I do with certain ones, and that's why I stopped. Wool Warehouse shocks me because they're in England, and Canada and
Right.
England are like this. And
Yeah.
being an American, it's hard for me to understand. I'm like, we had a great big war to get rid of, to get away from England. You all embrace it. But anyway, starting shipping from them to me was $35, and it only went up. The more I would buy, the more it would go up. And I was like, and then there's going to be some customs fees on that too.
That's
So,
crazy.
yep. And customs here, if they even open it, if they even rip the tape off, that's $10 right there.
Whoa.
Yep. Yep. Ask me how I know. And the mail lady, she's so sweet. She's like, there's fees due on this before I can give it to you. I'm like, what? So yeah, so I stopped. There's certain places I just don't order it from anymore because it got too expensive for me. Like when I would add it to the overall price of the skein of yarn, I'm like, that's because I had to pay in Canadian money, which also increases the price. So yeah, but Hirschner's, I know they had a deal last year because I wouldn't have put in such a big order. So I think last year I got like $5 shipping to me, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I jumped all over that, but I haven't seen anything yet. The last time I got anything was in December from them, because that was the last time there was any kind of deal for shipping. So I'm a little worried that there might not be one at all anymore. So do you sketch your ideas beforehand, or you just jump right in with yarn and go for it?
I probably should sketch my ideas beforehand, but most everything lives in this head of mine. Now, I will say that there are times, like here, look, I'll show you, as I have my little sketchbook right here. I bought a sketchbook so I would have somewhere to do, and so there are some things that I get design ideas together and I start sketching them out. I have another one I know that's like this one, and I'll sketch them out. What I find is that my creative process develops as I'm working on it, and so sometimes I do sketch some ideas out, and sometimes I don't. Just
Sorry, I'm just looking. Somebody asked a question. I can't find it. Darn it. I don't have admins on my channel, so I'm a one woman show here. Good question, Sue. Sue, if you could ask that again, I will try and answer it. I can't find it. It must be way back up in there. How do you decide on color palettes, Matt? Because your color choices are always so beautiful, and sometimes they surprise me, and I'm like, that's not going to work. And then I watch the end of the video, and they work.
I start by finding one color that I absolutely love, and then I think about what is going to go with that, or I start with an overall idea of a color way that I want to do. I also have there's certain color choices that I just like a little bit better. Like I I don't like bright in your face bold colors. I like muted um I like it's hard to put it into words. I like muted neutral tones, but neutral to me doesn't mean it has to be gray or tan. You know, it can be like earthy tones. I think that's more the
Yep.
word that I'm looking for. I like
Yes.
more of like the earthy style tones. Um, there are some projects that I do like to, bring in like jewel tones and things of that nature too. But yeah, I pretty much start with one that I fall in love with, and then I look at all the other stuff and say, what can I get to go with this?
Okay. Yeah, I again, we have that in common. It's so funny because I love the teals and the blues and the greens, and then on the other side, I like more neutral colors and earthy. I'm not a big, huge, woo, that's really colorful. Like I'm not like the bright orange, even at Halloween, I use that very sparingly and I bring in more earth oranges, you know?
Mm.
So
I love autumn and I love
yeah,
fall colors,
yeah,
and that is one of because you get so many earthy toned colors at fall time. I love like a burnt orange is like one of my favorite
yep,
colors on earth.
yep.
Um, and I have some really fun projects that I really want to do this fall. But yeah, I usually start with one that I love, and then I find other ones to pair with it that are going to elevate that color.
Yeah, I'm a fall baby myself. I was born in the fall. I've always loved fall. I mean, I've been doing a whole month long celebration of fall in June because I love it. I love the colors. I love the smells. I love the flavors. It's still nice enough during the day. You can enjoy it, but cool enough in the evening. You can put on a comfy pair of jammies and have a hot cup of tea. And
I get mad when Mother Nature steals fall from me
me
and goes
too.
straight to winter because fall is one of my favorite times. I love, having bonfires and sipping hot chocolate and, just
Yep.
wearing big, comfy, cozy sweaters. Yeah, that's my job.
But you're not having to put on the winter coat, the hat, the mitts, the scarf, the winter boots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate it when summer tries to steal fall too, because when it's really hot, it's like, no, I need that crispness, you know. So
Yes.
yeah, yeah, I think we know this one, but what are your colors you find yourself returning to again and again? I think I know the answer to this.
Um, So anything teal, specifically peacock teal is probably my favorite shade of teal, kind of that like royal teal color. That's my favorite. So I do return to that a lot. I also return to neutral, like chocolates and grays and things along those lines, because I have a lot of neutral tones in my decor in my let's put it this way. My finished basement, which is where my family room is, I can do whatever the heck I want to do down here. I can put color, I can do all that. But in the main living space upstairs, the husband says I have to make it look like a pretty magazine. So everything stays gray and pretty up there. Most of the time. So I would say grays and neutrals I return to a lot, and I do like a lot of that. And then teals and greens, but there are some shades of teals and greens. I don't love every shade. I feel like no matter what your favorite color is, there's a shade in that color lineup that you don't like. Like, for example, and this is going to shock you, but like green, I don't like. Chartreuse is not a color that I like, and my blanket that I just released a pattern for yesterday, the color pooling blanket, has a lot of chartreuse in it. Um, but Like the one color of green that I just disdain is that 1970s pea green color.
I was just gonna say there's a pea green that's not my
No, I don't
favorite.
like it. I
I
don't
was
like
just
it
about
at
to say
all.
that. It's got too much yellow for me.
Yes, yes.
And that's
So,
I'm not a huge yellow. I'm very particular if I like yellow, it is a very particular shade of yellow that I like.
oh,
So,
yeah, I'm on the same
yes.
page with you there. Um, there are some yellows that I like, but I like butter yellow and like a muted tone yellow. I don't like sunshine yellow.
Yeah, I like butter, I like soft. I don't like whoo, that is a bright yellow. Oh, Sue, which ones are best for wearables? Okay, so your pot holders, you're gonna want 100% cotton. You're not gonna want any acrylic in that because acrylic and heat don't go together. It'll melt. So you're gonna want to look for like 100% cotton. Wearables for me, I like the blends, but I also like the 100% cotton weight, like the cotton sprout that is like a 3 weight. That I made my cardigan out of that, and that is just scrumptious. It is so soft. It has a beautiful drape. I did do a video all on all the different kinds of cottons a couple weeks ago, and I go over which ones I would use for what. So if you want to check that out, but things for anything you're going to be using household wise, like your pot holders, your dishcloths, your dish scrubbies, your dish mats, you're going to want 100% cotton for the most part. There are a few blends that I use. I think if they have some polyester in them, I don't mind it because that's not going to catch on fire. But don't use anything with acrylic for fire. You will melt it.
Yeah, the Premier Home cotton I found is still pretty good. It's
Yeah.
15% polyester, but
Yes. So that's fine.
I've
Yeah.
I've used pot holders with that, and I've never had any
Nope.
issues
Me
with it.
either. I've never had a problem either. Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't use anything that has an acrylic blend in it.
Yeah.
That's why I like that. I love that the Hirschner's Country Cottage Cotton or whatever it is, the one that's the blend.
Yeah.
They have a lot of really pretty colorways, but yeah, great wearable territory.
Yeah.
not not household items.
No, no, not household you're gonna use. Like if it's a decoration, I guess you could go ahead and do it. But yeah, if you're gonna be using it, it's too expensive cotton to use for that too. Like you don't want to use basically if it's a cheap cotton that's kind of scratchy and rough, that's your that's your pot holder, your dishcloth. Like you wouldn't necessarily want to have that on your skin, and it's going to take usually a lot of yarn to make a wearable, so you're not going to want to or you're not going to want to use your good yarn, your good cotton is what I always call it. I don't want to use my good cotton to make a dishcloth. So a cotton is my probably favorite thing to work with. What are your favorite color combinations, Matt? What do you like to put together?
I like to think outside the box with putting color combinations together. I like to have contrast. So that's my number one rule. I also don't want to put colors together that I feel don't marry well. Like I feel like if I'm going to put this color next to this, it's got to line up well and have a nice color story going about it. Some people subscribe to the traditional. My mother always subscribed to the color wheel. She tried to teach me color theory and stuff when I was younger. She always subscribed to the color wheel and saying, if you're doing this color, the opposite color on the color wheel is the color that you want to pair it up with. I don't always think that looks good, personally. So I do try to stick with, I don't know, I guess what I think looks good, but I like to have a little bit of contrast. If you have your colors matching too closely, it's just all going to blend in together, which you might want to go for that vibe, but not always.
I have a feeling Matt was a little bit of a rebel.
Yeah. Oh, of course. I always wanted to do things my own way. I like to get my way, and I'm currently being paid back for that in my daughter.
Oh yes, Yes, I remember my mother saying how Lynn always goes to her own drummer or whatever. She's her own person. And then I gave birth to two who took that
I'm
and said,
telling
hold my
you,
beer.
and I'm like, there's so many things where I'm like, I can't even be mad at her because I used to do that stuff all the time. Like, I don't
And
know
it's
what it is. If I leave her unattended for a second, there's lotion on the wall or on the floor in the bathtub, or she finds something to make a mess of something, and I literally did nothing but that when I was a kid.
oh
Oh,
yeah, I tell my husband all the time, it's your fault because your mother used to say to you all the time, I hope you have a little boy who is just like you.
I know. And then you end up having one.
Oh, do you find, here's a question, do you find some hooks are better for some yarn weight than others? There are some hooks that are just don't work great on any of the yarn. And then, so yes, Matt can answer that too.
There's different types of hooks that work with different fibers of yarn a lot better. I don't know
Yeah.
about weights per se, but I will say that I like to use like my tulip or clover hooks on things that I'm using um, lighter weight yarn with. Like if it's a 3, 2, or 1, I'm usually not pulling out an inline hook for that. But like for example, I'm working on an acrylic project right now, and I've really fallen in love with like using wood hooks on my some of my acrylic projects. But um,
I
so I
like the
think
wood hooks for cotton. I find they work really good with my cotton.
so. You know what I found works amazing for cotton is these Furls Odyssey 2 hooks that I tried a whole bunch of different hooks, and those are the ones that give me the least amount of trouble because I was having a horrible time because I don't know if you've experienced this, but the Lily Sugars and Cream, it is a little splitty at times, but the Peaches and Cream is like the most splittiest yarn I've ever
I don't
experienced.
use it. I don't use peaches and cream
It's
because it's
so
just
splitty, but
awful.
these really do have some pretty colors of it. And the thing that I like is like you can kind of mix and match the lilies and the peaches together, and it's the same texture and all that. But I don't know what it is. The peaches and cream splits a lot more, but the Odyssey 2 hook does I don't know, it doesn't split as much for me when I'm using
They're
it.
the only furl hook I haven't tried yet is the Odyssey. I was gonna get some, but again, the shipping to me on even with that sale this past week, I couldn't justify it. I could have bought a whole nother hook for what they wanted for shipping. And then usually that's one of the ones that when they go to deliver, there's a surprise fee at my door.
Oh no.
Yeah,
So you don't
and
know ahead of time if you're gonna have to pay those
mm,
things?
nope. It really literally is whoever gets it at the airport or wherever it comes in. And if they decide we need to open it, because once they open it, there's the fee. That's it.
Oh,
And it's hit and miss. Sometimes they don't care. And then you get another person who obviously is having a bad day and they want to open everything that's coming to me from the States. So, from England or from Ireland or, whatever's coming in that's foreign. So, because I bought referrals for a couple of years. I have quite a few of them. Um, but yeah, I wanted to try the Odysseys. I did, but the shipping I couldn't. I'm like, oh, I just can't. I could buy a whole nother hook for that shipping. And then I know there's probably going to be a surprise fee. So yeah, I would like to try them because I'm hoping they would help with some of the splittier yarns that I have.
yeah, it does. The Odyssey 2 hooks, the newer ones, are leagues better than the Odyssey 1 hooks than the original
Okay.
ones. Because the original Odyssey 1 hooks were very heavy, and I felt still snagged quite a bit.
Okay.
But the new ones, they're just as lightweight as like a resin hook.
Okay. Because I have some metal hooks from furls and I don't use them because that often because they are
They're heavy. Yeah.
holy moly, are they heavy? And my hands just, with my issues, I don't need anything else making my hands work harder. Okay, we did a, have you ever designed something that you thought was going to look great in your head, but when you went to do it, no bueno.
Oh yes, I have. I mean, I have a lot of projects that I've had to frog before. Frogging is extremely painful for me because it's like you feel like you've put so much work into it, but you just weren't happy with it. Um, so a prime example would be my woven ribbons throw that I came out with on the channel. I love the design. I hate the yarn. So if I could redo it, I would pick a different yarn because I use the Lion Brand hometown yarn, and
Oh,
it's a nightmare.
yeah, yep,
It's so heavy.
heavy.
Uh, it's so heavy, and even when you're like weaving in the ends on that, sometimes the ends come undone because it's so slick. Um,
Okay,
so you have to leave yourself like a really big tail to weave in. And I almost didn't want to even release that on the channel, but the design is just superb. I love the design, and I'll brag on myself and say that. But if anyone asks me, I always tell them, get Premiere Basics Chunky to make with that project, and you'll be really happy with it. So that's one, and I have a couple whips. I have never counted how many whips that I have. It'll just hurt my feelings, or I'll feel some sort of pressure to do it all. But yeah, I do have a couple projects that I designed. I showed one on my live on Monday that I hated. And everyone in the live was like, "Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. It's a color pooling project." And I disdain it. And so I never finished it. I just
yeah.
didn't like how it was turning out. It was probably one of the most difficult color pooling projects I've ever tried to do. And so I just stopped and I said, all right, I'm going to regain my sanity on this one.
I know for me, when I'm really struggling and not enjoying it, and it becomes, I have to stop because I'm like, this is the exact opposite of what I want crochet to be for me. I don't mind being challenged, and I'm doing my first Grafcan, which I hope is going to be done in time for my big fall finale at the end of the month, but I've had to frog a few times. It's a struggle. It can be frustrating. It's teaching me a lot about patience. But I don't want to give up on it because as much because I'm not like, oh, this is, I can't, like, this is it. But I've had some projects where it's just like, you know what, why am I keep doing this? I'm not liking the yarn, I'm not liking the stitch, I'm not like, it's okay to say I'm going to walk away. We don't have to like every single thing.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
there's like, I
And that's so
personally am not
hard
a color pooling girl.
because you put so much work into the stuff. And
Yeah.
I mean, I have another project that is sitting over my whip pile, and I put a lot of work into it, but I don't like the color selections. Like I thought I was gonna love it, but there's just not enough contrast, and it all looks muddy to me.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of it's sitting there. And the only reason I haven't frogged it is because the pattern that I was using with it required me to clip every row and change color. So it,
Oh.
it's throwing the yarn away at this point.
Yeah, yes, I hear you. I know a lot of people ask me, why don't you weave your ends in while you're going? Because if I have to frog it, it is so much harder
It is.
to do. And I did that with my Grafgan. I'm going to be talking about it in the video. And I got to row 53 and realized I've been doing the whole pattern completely 100% wrong. And guess
Oh
who
my gosh. Isn't
decided
that frustrating
after
too?
And guess who decided after, okay, 30 rows in, okay, this is looking all right, decided to weave in all her ends,
The
which I
worst is when
couldn't
you
do.
weave in the ends and then you have to pick those ends out.
I couldn't.
And
I couldn't find half of them. So right now I've got a pile of half. I end up scrapping it and starting right over from scratch with all new skeins of yarn. I bought extra. Good thing I did. And I will save it, but I'm going to have my husband because he has more patience. He's wonderful. He helps frog things for me and helps untangle things better than I can. But I never sew in my ends, and this is why I don't, because I literally cannot find them. And yeah, it was a nightmare. So, like I said, it's teaching me patience. That's for sure. Um, so how do you balance your creativity when you're writing a pattern that's going to be easy for others to follow and see your vision?
I don't write the pattern until everything is done. Because number one, I can most likely, if I write the pattern ahead of time, I'm most likely going to change something, and I don't want to have that be forget about that change and then have that be wrong in the pattern. So I do wait to write the patterns until the very end. Um, and I guess that's what helps me keep the creative balance is I have the creativity to be flexible as I'm going throughout. And I try to do that in some of the other patterns as well. And the one thing about my patterns is like I write them not in your traditional way. I literally write them in like plain English because
Me too.
my least favorite thing is picking up a pattern and looking at it and saying, "Is this written in Greek? Like, what language is this?
Yep.
I don't get it." Or, I focus and I mean, I know how to read old school patterns and I can, but have you ever tried to make something out of pattern? And you're like, did not, the way it's coming out does not look how it's supposed to look. And then you get so frustrated.
Yes. No, I do to the few patterns I've written, I write mine out in plain English too because I want people to understand. But it's
Yeah.
also, I think, because how I'm thinking when I'm making it. It's that's how it sounds in my head. So, yeah, I hate it when I get and like you'll read it and I'll read it out loud. No, reading it out loud didn't help. And
Right.
then and I can't ask anybody in my family because they don't like my husband's like, what is SC, HDC, DC, treble? Like, what is this? So I'm like, I don't get it. And I love when there's a video because I am a visual learner. So if I see I'm like, oh, because what I
Yeah.
find very interesting, and Linda and I were talking about this, how depending on where you live, what you call this stitch, like your crunch stitch. Linda and I were talking about this.
Yeah.
Crunch stitch. I've seen it called moss stitch.
I've seen it called the even moss stitch
Even
before
moss
too.
stitch. Yeah.
Um, now the reason that I call it the crunch stitch is so I've seen it on a couple of the channels where they've called it the crunch stitch, but I try to cross reference stuff with some of my crochet books, and at least two of my main crochet books that I reference called it the crunch stitch.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I have seen it called the even moss stitch. It's so weird. Like some stitches will go by a couple different names.
Yeah. Yeah. So that makes it really confusing sometimes too. Um, do you think about the skill level of the crocheter when you're designing?
So funny thing is I try to keep everything on either a beginner to intermediate crochet level. I never try to do anything hard because number one, I want it to be more of a mindless pattern. I don't want to design anything where you have to count every row or every stitch because that is literally my version of HE double hockey sticks. Um, but so I try to keep everything simple, but I also want it to look nice. I don't want it to just be too simple. Like you don't want to see a blanket and just be like, oh, that's just all double crochets. Um, I want it to have visual appeal, but I want it to be a mindless stitch. That is why like I release a new stitch video every Monday. And my playlist is called the Super Simple Stitch series because I try to keep myself regulated to having something that's super simple. Um, I know I don't want to have anything complicated because the complicated stuff, um, although I can understand it a little bit more now because I've been really doing this for a while, I don't want it to be regulated to just people who can't, who need to only be able to understand the more complicated things. I want everyone to be able to access crochet and feel like they can do it. And that's one of the reasons why I started my channel is because I knew I wanted to do some some tutorials and instructional videos. And I love yarn too, just as much as I love crochet. That's its own hobby.
I
And so
know. It is.
it is.
It is.
Collecting the yarn is as much of a hobby as actually doing the crochet. And so I wanted to be able to review and bring and share my hauls and things like that as well. So I like to have that kind of mix on my channel. But the biggest struggle is even with some video tutorials, you're like, whoa, sweetheart, slow down. You are going lightning
Wait,
fast. I don't
yeah,
know what you're doing. I
yep.
have to like rewind this video 800 times. And so at least with my channel, I try to say, what are the things that frustrated me before I had a channel, and how can I make that different?
Yeah, I 100% agree, and I can totally relate to that. And I found you through Linda because she found you through your tutorials. She's like, Lynn, I have found the best channel, and he's so good at explaining. He doesn't go fast. He does it enough of times in a row, right? So you're not having to rewind back to watching you just do 3 stitches. You'll do a whole row. And I found you with your shell stitch. And one of the things you say in that video that I love is, like you said, it looks so fancy and complicated, but it's not. And I love those kinds of stitches
That's
that look
my
like
vibe. Like, I
yeah.
want it to look like it was hard, but not be, and to be something simple. And so I didn't always have a stitch tutorial every week. Sometimes it was like, every other or every third week or something like that. But I've really tried to stick with keeping it more consistent with having it come out every Monday, because I think that that's something that people want. And what I always do when I'm doing my tutorials is one of the biggest things that I like to do is I will make a step and then I'll repeat what I just did, or
Yeah.
summarize what I just did.
Yeah. And I pretty like, yeah, you have the best, like everyone's on here. Fat's got the best tutorials. They're easy to follow. Yes. Yeah. Because it can be hard to find somebody, because I always try to come from the thing too, like, I know it's a single crochet, but I'm gonna do this like you don't know what a single crochet is. Like so I'm just gonna I'm gonna show, like all that. So yeah. I appreciate your
By the
tutorial.
way, I got to tell you, Vicky was just talking about the mimosa hook, and those are available on Amazon, and that is probably the closest that I've found to the Furls Odyssey 2 hook.
Okay.
The head it's not an inline head. It is definitely a tapered head. It's similar to a boy head hook.
Okay.
But the glide on it, the smoothness on it is almost comparable to the Odyssey 2 hooks. It says on their website, or like on their Amazon listing, that they polish the aluminum for 10 hours straight.
Oh wow. Okay.
And so it's like highly, highly, highly polished. I think I have mine. Yeah, I have mine right here. I'll show you.
Okay.
So
I will say too, you can get furls on Amazon too.
can
Like,
you?
yeah,
Yeah.
furls is on Amazon too. So
See, this is the mimosa hook. It's like
okay.
it's like a wood tip, but you see how that's like it's like the boy head.
Okay.
So if you like a boy head, I know Vicky was just talking about it.
Okay.
It is a very highly polished, good hook. So you might want to try that with some of your cotton too, because they're not that expensive. They're like $7 or something.
Okay, I will. I wrote it down. So I actually got a coupon from Amazon or Michael's yesterday in my Michael's Rewards. I was able to get 40% off any 2 items. So I got some more Clover and More hooks because I've really started falling in love with them. And I find that they're working better on some of the yarns I was having problems with some of my other hooks.
Yeah, I do. I use my so I have a whole collection of the Clover and More, but my tulip reds replaced the Clover and More.
Tulip, that's on my wish list. That might be my Christmas gift I asked my husband for, is the tulip.
The tulips, I find it easier to see my stitches because it's a red tipped hook.
That
So
makes sense.
no
Yeah.
matter what yarn you're using, and it's got that same brushed aluminum that the Clover hook has too. They do cost a little bit more than the Clover, but not crazy. They're
Well,
really,
for me in Canada, they're insane.
are they?
I'm just gonna look them up, bro. I just want to make a quick. I see someone saying that the furls person. Now, when I saw it, it's actually the furls company who is selling on Amazon. I don't see it as a private person. I see it as furls, the actual furls, because some companies do sell on Amazon. Like,
Well, and I know that they do offer some on there. They are at a little bit of a higher cost because Krista over at the Secret Yarnery just did all those hook reviews. I don't know if you've seen
I haven't had a chance. I've been so busy. I'm so
her
behind.
video. They're long videos. They're like an hour to a little over an hour for each, but she got as many hooks as she could find on Amazon or on AliExpress, and she lives in Africa.
Okay. Yeah.
And so she had them either sent from Amazon or from AliExpress, and she did like a review of a lot of them, and it's so funny because the tulip hooks uh, won with a lot of, not just her, she had
Okay.
like other people review the hooks too, and the tulip hooks won over the clover hooks with a lot of the people.
Okay. So I'm just looking and on my Amazon, and it is Furls Crochet who is selling on Amazon. At least the
Yeah, I
one
believe
I'm
that.
looking at. It's not a reseller. I just want to look up the tulip hooks so I can tell you how much they are. Where are you? Okay. So the tulip Etimo, Etimo, is that
Yes, that's
them?
it. Yeah, the
Okay.
Atimo Reds. Uh-huh.
So for a set, which is one, two, three, four,
Well, the
five,
sets are like $90 here
they're
in the States.
140 for me.
Yeah. So I don't recommend. So I got turned on to this because one of my followers sent me the set. It comes in like this little pouch
Yep.
like this, but it only goes up to a 5 millimeter. It has a ton of really really tiny sizes,
Okay.
um,
Which I won't use.
which I won't use. I really appreciate the set that she sent me, but
Yeah.
I mean there might be a day where I could use one of them, but I prefer to have some of the bigger ones. So I don't recommend the set because it's just going to have a lot of sizes that you're not going to use. What I would recommend is buy like just a 5 millimeter one because you're probably use that a lot with cotton, and see if you
Oh,
like it.
here's one. Okay, so they're 26 for me, which that's
Each,
yeah.
each.
Just gonna show you. Do 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 do. Can you see that?
Oh, Lord have
Yeah.
mercy.
I if it's a good hook, 26 is I figure it's not necessarily budget friendly as say a $5 hook, but it's better than a $45, which is what furls are for me. They're anywhere from 45 to 65 Canadian.
Well, and the furls hooks are $26 for me. Here,
Okay.
so.
But I'm just there's only one in stock in that 5 millimeter. So my other question though is so there's tulip pink ones too. Are they the same?
So I have been told that the purple and the red ones are similar, but the other colors they're not like a matte finished tip. So
Okay.
but the lavender purple ones and the red ones are supposed to be both like pretty much the same.
Okay. So, well, you know what? I'm gonna go buy that hook right now because there's only one left.
Yeah,
And
try it out and see if you like it. And that is, the 5 millimeter is probably what you use for a lot of your cotton stuff anyway. So.
yeah, I can't get it until it won't come to July 2nd, so I'll have plenty of time. But I've bought so many hooks and done so many reviews. There's another one coming out because I'm always trying to find two budget friendly hooks that work great. So you don't, because I don't want this to become, I've mentioned this before, I don't want crochet to make it so people can't afford to do this.
Yeah,
And yarn prices are making it harder and harder.
I just bought a set of the dots hooks to do a review on. It hasn't come yet.
Yes, I've been wanting, that's on my wish list because they're not that expensive.
No, I bought a whole set for $35.
Yeah, which
Um,
that's a lot for, I mean, you get a lot of hooks.
yeah, so I got a whole set for $35. They do have the matte tip on it. So that's supposed to be similar to a clover. So I have my clovers and I have my tulip reds, and I'm gonna do a comparison video when those come. I'm just waiting for my Weave Crochet order to get here. I ordered that, and I love their dishy cotton. Have you ever tried that?
I've been trying to find it. I have not had any luck finding it like locally. I found it on a website, but again, the
Is
shipping.
Weave Crochet or knit or the knit picks, is that expensive in Canada for shipping?
We crochet. I haven't been on for a while. Knit picks. I keep many. I'm writing these all down. I'm going to check
Because
on them.
knit picks and Weave Crochet is the same company. It's just one website is for crocheters and one website is for knitters. But they like even the knit picks has some crochet hooks available on their website too. But it's all the same yarn. But sometimes you might find a little bit better deal on one than the other. But yeah, the dishy cotton that they have there, it's really nice.
I've heard good things. I've heard really good things. I'm
It's a
trying
little
to find.
pricier, you know. It's like it's normally $4.99 for like like one of these little guys.
Okay. Somebody was just talking about TL Yarn Craft hooks. I have the set here because I reviewed them. They're way too long for me. The way I
I
hold them.
reviewed them too, and
And I
don't
wanted to
like
love
them.
them. I wanted
I
to love them, but
I wanted to love them too, and I'm really disappointed that they did not have some sort of coating on the tip of it because I love a Susan Bates hook, and that's what she styled the hook after, Susan Bates hooks. However, I wanted them to have some sort of coating on the tip to make the yarn glide easier on it, and it's just not there.
no, I can't find it. There it is. I've been trying off and on, but they're too long for me. I do not have big hands at all. I don't.
They are
So,
quite long.
so here, this is it.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're beautiful, but
And
why is there
so
not a coat?
this is how I hold my hook. This is way too long to put where your thumb would go.
Yeah.
So I have to come all the way up here, and I can't. It hurts my wrist trying to use them. I want to love them, and I'm glad I did not pay full price. I got mine on a deal, but
I paid like $125 for the set. They're not cheap hooks.
no.
And
I mean, if you divide them up, like I paid 65 Canadian because I had a $65 credit I had to use, and with all the stuff that's been going on with them, I thought I better use it before I lose it. I am a little disappointed. I wish she had gone with an American. I mean, she is American, so it's weird that it's Hobby, however you want to say it, that she went with. I found
just who
that
she
an
got
odd
the
choice.
partnership with. Like, I get it, but
Yeah.
then at the same time, her Tunisian hooks are great, and has had really phenomenal reviews on her Tunisian hooks. And I'm like, honey, you're a crocheter. You got to have some sort of coating on that tip,
Yeah.
so it makes it so the yarn can glide really well on there. And I was just, I don't want to talk negative about. I even hesitate to even be talking about it now. I don't want to talk negative about another creator, but I love Tony, but I was just disappointed.
Oh, I do too. I have a lot of her patterns because I love her. But yeah, they weren't for me. And there are people who love them, and that's great. I will say, with what I paid, it works out to be about $6.50 a hook, which I think is very reasonable for, for me, not every hook is for everybody. There are going to be people who don't like the Clover or more. There are going to be people who don't like Susan Bates. There's people who don't like, you know what I mean? Like everybody has their own comfort that they want.
Yep.
So it's by no means, like Matt and I say, it's by no means. And they're beautiful hooks. I mean, they're beautiful.
Very
and
nice.
I like the handle feeling. The handle is comfortable. It's
I like that they don't roll on the table.
Yeah, for me, they're just I have to come all the way up here, so this hurts me after a while. I can't because of my issues with my hands.
They don't feel as ergonomic,
right?
But they are an improvement over the Susan Bates ergonomic ones.
Yes.
Yes, I will say that they're an improvement over that. But the Susan Bates ones are a lot cheaper too. So
so like you honestly have to kind of, it's like, finding your favorite pair of sneakers. You're going to have to shop around until you find what works for you. And that's why I do try to do as many reviews on as many as I can find and give you my opinion, because I've bought some off of Amazon that were just awful, and I don't recommend those ones at all. But some of my favorite are the cheapos from Hobby Lobby that are like the rainbow soft grip. I love those, and those cost me like $3.99.
I've seen so many people talking about those Hobby Lobby ones and how much that they love them.
I love it. I like literally I've worn the number off of one of them because I've used it so much.
Does the yarn glide like really easily on it?
I find it does. And I've used it on all kinds of yarn and not had any issues. I can crochet for long periods of time holding them. Like, they don't bother me. I like them. I have no issues with them. And I mean, you can't beat the price for them. So
yeah, true.
And the only hooks I cannot stand, and I will never recommend for anyone, is the old-fashioned metal ones that I learned on. With my hand issues, I could never use those again. They're always going to have to be ergonomic for me.
Do you know what? And I'm just going to say this. I love Crystal over a bag of day to death, but those boy and hero hooks that she uses probably do no help for her and her hands. I know that she loves them, but those types of hooks, those boy hooks and like the hero style, which is another style of boy hooks that she uses, they hurt my hands and my arms, and I get numbness down my arms and stuff.
Yep.
They cause me pain. So I never said, I didn't say anything on her channel or anything like that, but she might want to consider finding a new hook to love.
Yeah, I have to have the ergonomic. I have to. I just,
yeah.
It hurt. I have, with the neuropathy I have, it just, ooh. And I try to hold my hook as a pencil just because everyone, holy moly, I don't know how anybody does that. The pain in my wrist. I was like, nope, it's a knife. I learned as a knife holder, and I'm going to die, I guess, a knife holder. I just can't. It hurts my wrist. And I had other people say holding it the knife way hurts their hand. So that's what I mean. You have to find what works for you. And like someone just said, like, she loves the TL yarn, and I could not be happier you love them. I'm so glad that you found hooks that work for you. I'm so happy. They just don't work for me. They just don't. The Heart Hook home hooks, I would love to try them, but there's no available shipping to Canada.
I want to try them so bad.
So bad.
They are on my absolute must-have list, but they are expensive. They are $130 for 5 hooks.
American.
So it's probably like $150 or $160 Canadian,
Yeah.
And that's before shipping. Now, in the US, she does give you free shipping, but $130 for 5 hooks, honey, I'm sorry, that's outside of what I'm willing to pay.
I know. I mean, I do like how they're made. They're 100% designed and made in Texas.
I know, and they look like they're awesome hooks. They look like
the silicone apparently, like, you couldn't let someone else borrow your hook because eventually it goes to whatever your hand is, so it fits your hand over time. Which I'm like, that is why didn't someone think of this sooner? That makes so much sense.
Well, she said she spent 2 years developing.
2 years and that's
It's going to be in my Christmas wish list. I'm going to tell.
Me too. But
if my husband get those for me, I want to try them out.
Ship them. I can have them shipped to my mom because she's in the States, so I can mail them to her. If we ever find a home and can move closer, I can just zip across the border and grab them from her. But because
they look amazing.
They're 5 hooks. Just looked. They have 5 hooks, no case, for $85 right now.
Right,
I mean,
and with the case, it's $100. It's like $99.99 with the case, but that's with a 20% off discount right now. Her regular price is $130.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, no, Dale, you don't want to move here. If we could afford to leave, we would. And that's all I'm going to say. Love my Clover Amore. I'm falling in love with them. Like I just got 2 more that I have to pick up from Michael's tomorrow. I was able to use the coupon because it was an online only, but because I ordered them online to pick up at the store, I was able to use my coupon, and I have to go there for a dentist appointment tomorrow, so I'm just going to pick them up.
My only gripe with Clover is anything over 6.5 millimeter is a plastic hook.
Yeah,
I don't like that. I wish that they
I
had
break
the
them.
large ones.
I break them.
I
I get
hate plastic
hard
hooks like,
on them.
with a passion. Like burn them all in the fire.
Yeah. Okay, so looking ahead, I have a few questions. Is there any techniques, stitches, or styles that you would like to explore that you haven't done?
Okay. That's a tough question. Because usually if I get an itch to do something, I try it. What have I not done? I guess that there's just a lot of different kinds of patterns that I haven't done. I want to work on some that are more textured. Um, and some of the patterns that I've seen for that look really pretty, but they're a little bit more difficult. So I guess trying things that are a little harder or a little bit more outside my comfort zone. Um, but again, usually if I see something that's a little bit more complicated, I want to figure out a way to make it easier where I can still kind of get the same look. The one thing that I do want to learn how to do that is complicated for me is I do want to learn how to knit. I have tried. My brain does not function with it. It's like it shuts down. It doesn't compute. I can't get it to work right. Um, That's a really good one, Jerry, is mosaic crochet. I would say that that's one that I have wanted to try. So two, I guess. Mosaic, I want to try one that's not too hard, that looks cool. And I want to do a graph can. I've never done a
I
graph
was
can.
just going to ask you if you've done, I'm doing my first one.
I've never done a graph can. I've done a ton of C2C projects, and I've done different color work and stuff in C2C, but I have never done a graph can.
Yep.
So that is something I'd like to learn to do.
And for me, for someone who is math, math is just not my strong suit. So looking at a graph is like taking me right back to 4th grade when we had to start using the graph paper in math. And I just literally, I can remember crying at my kitchen table with my father because it did not compute. Thank God I have a husband who looked at it and figured it out, and he's been literally helping me. He looks at the graph, I write down what he's like, I'm writing it down in long form and following it that way because like I said, I was doing it wrong for 53 rows.
See, for me, like if I see a pattern, I pray to God that it has a diagram or something on it,
Oh,
um,
yeah.
because the diagrams just compute really well in my head.
Oh,
So
I
maybe the
envy
graph
you.
can will.
Yeah, to me, it might as well be a foreign language. I look at it and I just literally, I said to I said, I literally feel nauseous. I can remember sitting in 4th grade with Mrs. Batson, and my graph paper looked horrible because I had to erase it. So I can literally see it. I had to erase it so many times because I couldn't fit. Oh, and it just never clicked with me. And yeah. So that's been hard. And I didn't realize the magazine, it only had written instructions for so many rows, and then it expects you to go to the graph. And I didn't know that when I bought it.
Well,
So,
see, that's what I like about the diagrams is I don't like ones where they give you no instruction at all, you know? I
yeah.
like the ones where you have the written instruction and you have the diagrams.
Yes.
And if you struggle with one or the other, you can read the diagram you can look at the diagram as you're reading the written instruction, and the
Right.
diagram will start to click a little bit more.
And I think
Like,
if they had done that, maybe it would have clicked for me, but they only do a few rows and then they expect you, and the first 36 rows are all just corner to corner white. Well, I don't need a graph for that.
right.
It was after that. And I'll talk more about it in my video, but you have to, like, it goes like this. Row 1 starts here. You have to remember you're going to read row 2 from this direction, row 3. And I didn't realize that at first. So that's why the first 50 some rows were wrong. What kind of a project, what projects are you excited about right now? This is
Oh my gosh.
perfect time to talk about what you have coming up in July.
Yes. So, of course, I have my my crochet along that's coming up in July. I'm very excited about that, and I'm doing the cardigan with the hipster cotton. If you're unfamiliar with my channel, I've got like a video and everything on it. Good morning, Linda.
I wonder where you were. I think she forgot it was Wednesday.
No. So I'm very excited about the crochet along in July. I'm really excited about the Bitty Stripes firework blanket that I'm going to be releasing next week on my
I can't wait
channel.
to see that.
Oh my gosh, it is just absolutely stunning. And for also anyone who might be unfamiliar with me, I have a personal goal to make something out of every single color of the Bitty Stripes yarn. I am like 8 to 10 colorways in right now. So
Oh wow. This Kelly actually asked me this because I'm going to link your video about the crochet along in my video that's out tomorrow. You explain it all because the yarn I bought is for your crochet along. So for anyone who missed it, it will be linked in my video tomorrow too. She wants to know, can she use a worsted weight for the CAL?
yes, you can use a worsted weight for it. I recommend the Cotton Sprouts worsted. I love Cotton Sprouts for wearables. I think that it is a fantastic option for wearables. So I would do the Cotton Sprout worsted. And I also recommended for people who don't have access to Premiere. I don't even know if I have it over here anymore, but the Hobie Fruta yarn is a worsted weight, and I would recommend that as well. So either the Hobie Fruta or the Cotton Sprout worsted would be perfect. The Cotton Sprout doesn't have a whole ton of variegated offerings, but they have, I think, 5 or 6.
Okay. And I was because I was watching your video when you're live, I think. Was it a live when we were talking about the crochet along when it was first starting to kind of
Yes, when we were developing it.
right. And you showed beach ball. And I remember seeing that and I thought, oh, it's okay, but oh my gosh, when you showed the picture of them, granted it's knitted, holy moly, I showed it to my daughter she's great. Grace is black and red with occasional blue. Those are her colors.
I'm not big on a lot of color.
She goes, yeah, even she said, Mom, for summer, that is really, I said, it blew my mind. I was like, okay, I totally seeing it worked up. And that's the thing. You can't always judge a yarn by its scheme.
No, and that cardigan is what made me kind of fall in love with beach ball and why I had ordered it initially, because it's just so pretty.
So pretty.
And I like that it's kind of a more gender neutral colorway. Like it's orange and blue and mint. So
absolutely. And it's so pretty. I'm doing mine in Sunrise hipster cotton. And I do have some, I have enough to do it all in Sunrise, but I also have enough of the Cotton Sprout and the matching solid colors if I do decide to do that. I haven't decided yet. I have enough of all of it that I can kind of decide as I'm going. But Dana wants to know, can she use I love this cotton for the crochet along?
Oh yeah, I love this cotton would make a really great wearable. They have a lot of solid color offerings. They have a lot of the variegated color offerings. So yeah, I think I love this cotton would make a great one.
Yeah.
I just finally finished my square I've been working on.
Oh,
I
I
started
haven't
making
even.
like
Oh,
one of the farmhouse squares. Have you
okay.
ever
Yep.
used one of those before? So it's the first time I've ever done that. And I think I'm gonna make the blanket for my living room in the farmhouse squares, because I think everyone will look a little bit different in this ombre one.
Yeah, the farmhouse granny square is one of the things I'm thinking about doing my festive in, but I'm also waiting because I'm thinking about doing it in the quilted look that you're doing with your firework.
Yeah, it's the you know it that's a really good option, is to make a more quilt inspired look. If you get good at making half and half granny squares, where it's half one color and half another, unlike the diagonal,
Hmm.
then your quilt inspired options open up immensely.
Okay. But yeah, because I thought, because I've always wanted to do a quilt, a crochet quilt. It's been on my to-do list forever. And I'm like, maybe this will be the year I do it with that festive. I said, I think it will look very country, very, cozy. Like I think
Okay.
so I've got it's all here. It's sitting in a box.
Yeah.
I just got to decide what I'm going to do. Um, so, advice for aspiring designers. What advice would you give someone who wants to start designing crochet patterns? Asking for a friend.
Hmm. I would say um, start with coming up with an interesting granny square, something that's different from the normal, because it's easy enough to where you only have to design a small square. You don't have to think about whole blanket wise, but you can come up with a unique design for a square, and then you can put that into a blanket, and that is a really good starting point. And then you'll be able to build your confidence up with that. That's what I did. I started with just a regular granny square design, but doing color work or maybe doing it in a different way, and that helped me build my confidence up into coming up with other things and trying more complicated patterns and things along those lines. So I think a granny square is a really good spot to start for someone who's aspiring to be able to do more. The patterns are pretty easy to write. You just have to get more comfortable with the different ways of joining the squares.
Okay. And what's something you wish you knew when you first started?
Uh, well, that yarn addiction is a real thing and it can get out of hand very quickly. um, and I guess if there was another thing that I wish that I knew, would be when I first started, I really didn't know how to read patterns very well. So just making sure that I had a better understanding on how to read patterns. Um, and that just helps you gain a little bit more of your foundation on how to, number one, write them, and number two, it opens up the doors to be able to come up with more creative designs too.
Okay. And what encouragement would you give someone who has ideas but is afraid to put them out into the world? And I actually seen a few comments here how they're very nervous about trying something, or people don't always like their color choices, or
So, um, when you're trying to put color choices and things together, sometimes it's really easy to put together exactly what we like. But if you're trying to put together something that both you and other people would like, you just have to kind of keep that in mind with your color choices. This is the same thing like if you were going to paint a room in your house, you don't want to paint it a color that you'll never be able to sell the house if it's sunshine yellow in your living room, you want to try to think of things that you're going to appreciate, but that other people would like too, especially if you're gifting it. Um, think about like whenever I am making a blanket for a friend or something, or a wearable or whatever you're going to make for a friend specifically, I always like to just in casual conversation just ask them like what's their favorite colors and things like that. And I learn a lot. Like the Secret Gardens blanket that I made, which was a granny ripple blanket, and it's on my channel. I put the colors together specifically because they were what somebody that I was making it for really liked. Their colors were green and pink. And I would never have thought to put green and pink together. But I came up with a pattern and I made it work. And they didn't know that I was making a blanket for them. I just asked, which favorite color? So, yeah. Get brave with your color choices, but remember that you're not, unless you're making the blanket specifically for yourself, you're not always going to be choosing your colors just based on what is your favorite.
Right. And I will say, if you're making it for yourself and you like it, the heck what everybody else
Oh
says.
yeah,
If
exactly.
you like it, then that's, you know, that's you. That's yours. Like,
Right.
you know, life is too short. Believe me. I spent many, many years trying to be who I thought I was supposed to be. I talk about this a lot, and I spent way, way too many years, and then I got cancer at 38 and realized, oh my gosh, what a lot of time I've wasted not being true to who I am.
Yeah.
So honestly, if it's something you like and you love it, then don't care what anyone else thinks. Like
Yeah, you
seriously.
just have to think about who are you, what's your intended party? Is this
Right.
yours or is this somebody else? Because if you're making it for yourself, that to heck to what anyone else thinks, even if your color choices, you're making it for what you like. And you're making it for your decor or whatever. But if you're making it for somebody else, then you really have to get in a different mindset and you have to think about what they're really going to like. If I'm making it for somebody, I try to make sure I'm choosing something that they're really going to love because the last thing I want to have happen is that blanket becomes the dog's,
Yes.
or
Yeah.
something like
I have made blankets for my dog.
that. Right. No, I mean, but
What I
like,
mean, but I know what you mean. Or God help us, you see it in the thrift store. That
I know exactly. Like
part.
you've put all this work into it, and
Oh,
maybe your favorite colors are green, pink, and orange, but
yeah.
they hate that because they
They
like
hate that.
neutrals or
Right.
something like that.
Absolutely. If you're going to give this to someone, like Matt said, try to figure out what you think they're, what they're going to like, because
Mhm.
you do want them to like it. You want them to, because you don't, it hurts my heart to see so many beautiful blankets at thrift stores.
Yeah, and have you been in their living room before? And
Yes.
maybe they say that their favorite color is green, like my husband, but you walk into their living room and everything is gray. Um,
Right. Right.
or
Yeah.
or all the throws that they have on their couch are white or cream and don't have colors in it.
Color.
Um,
Then, yeah.
and so you really have to think about that. And you might be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to just make something white. But you know what? Do you want the blanket to just sit in a closet or do you want them to use it?
You want them to go, oh, and every time you visit, you see it.
Yes.
I will say that usually when I am making a blanket for someone, I tell them, I'm like, look, for Christmas, I'm making you a blanket. I need to know, do you like these colors? Do you like, I'll pull, and I'll send, and they may not know, but they're not going to know what it looks like at the end. Like, my mother, I did that with my mom when I made her shawl. I'm like, Mom, I want to make you a shawl for Christmas because you keep saying you want one, but what colors do you want?
See, I never tell the party that I'm giving it to that I'm going to make something for them ahead of time because I always like it to be a surprise. But I've always been someone who's very perceptive of my surroundings. So if I've been to their house before, I try to look at what you might, like I said, you might say that your favorite color is green, but maybe your husband hates green, and so you don't get to have any green in your house. Well, if you make her a green blanket, then maybe she doesn't get to put it out,
Yeah.
So
I will
I
say
try to,
I'm surprised. but my mom, especially the last couple of years with losing my dad, like she's been all over the place, and I never know what the heck she's gonna like from one minute to the
that's
next.
true. Some people you really would have to ask. Like,
Yeah.
I have not made anything for my mother-in-law because she is so particular I can't even buy her stuff and know that she's gonna
Yeah.
use it. Like my husband made a joke when we had first got together. He goes, "If you buy anything, it's gonna end up buried in the backyard," because she's so particular about everything. You know.
I just want, how do you deal with people that not appreciating your gift because of all your hard work? I will tell you this, not everyone's going to like crochet. Not everyone's going to like knit, and not everyone likes getting a homemade gift. Like, so you need to know who you're making gifting for. You need to know. You have to be honest. If they do not like crochet, don't waste your time and money and effort making them something, because it's not going to change them liking it for the most part. There might be the exception, but there's a lot of people who don't like it, and your feelings are going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
are.
Well, and you also have to think like, again, if you're gonna make something for somebody, what are they actually going to really enjoy? Like some people, maybe they're not going to enjoy a blanket, but maybe they would enjoy like a cardigan or something like that. And if you're not sure if they're really going to like it, I say start out with something small. Make them some pot holders and give it to them. See if
Yep.
they really like that. And if they gush over the pot holders or whatever, then okay, that's your little sign that you can make them something more.
Yep. Yep. Or if they see something, you're like, oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. Where'd you get that? Oh, I made it. You made it? That's beautiful. And you're like, okay, okay. I think maybe I
Yeah,
can
and then you can do something like that. The worst
yeah.
thing is when you make a big project, and you know that they're not using it. So
Yeah. Okay, so now we have some time for some fun questions. So these are, you don't have to think too hard. Just the first thing you think of. What is your comfort crochet project?
my comfort. I would say either Granny Squares is probably my comfort project that I would go to. I mean, obviously today I just made one while
Yep.
we were sitting here.
Yep.
Or I like something quick, like a pot holder or a washcloth that I can feel a sense of accomplishment.
Yes. What what crochet rule do you secretly break? Are there any crochet rules you break?
Trying to think if there's any rules per se. That's the one thing I like about crochet. I don't feel like there are rules. There's like general guidelines and stuff. I would say that, oh, I know. There are so many people that are very adamant about when you start a project and you crochet out your foundation row that you should be working into the back bump of that row. And I disdain working into
That.
I hate it. And when I watch a tutorial and someone's talking and saying how you must work into the back bump, I just want to like turn it off. I'm like, that irritates the snot out of me. I don't
Oh,
like it.
Matt, I swear to gosh, we are like,
I'm telling you, I don't
I
like
hate
it,
that.
and I'll tell you why I don't like it. I end up getting lost. When I try to do it, I end up getting lost. A stitch gets missed or something like that. It gets turned in some weird way, and then it gets
Turned.
twisted or something. No. No, I'm just keeping it simple. You're putting a border on the dang thing anyway.
Right. Right. And I find it's fiddly,
Yeah,
especially if you're doing long. If you have to do a lot of them, and
yeah.
it always twists on me. And nope, I am so 100% agree with you. I never do that. So yeah, I guess that's one of the rules.
Yep.
And I am self-taught crochet, so that's why I am always hesitant too to do a tutorial, because I am not a crochet teacher, certified instructor. You can actually get that. Elise Rose, I don't know if you watch
Neither am
her.
I.
Yeah, so I am self-taught, so I don't want to teach anyone my bad habits. But if it turns out it looks beautiful, I'm happy with it, then I kind of don't care how I got there.
Well, I guess a bonus rule that I break is I disdain the magic ring with every
I was
fiber
just
of
gonna
my being.
I was gonna ask you, magic ring, yes or no?
Absolutely, unequivocally no. Chain 4 every last time.
Every time. I don't find it all that freaking magical.
No, it's not. And that the blue blanket that's up there, I made most of my squares with the magic ring. I washed that blanket once, and 4 of the squares came undone,
Oh,
and I had to literally undo half of my project, pull them out, refix them, re-put them
oh,
back in. That blanket really gave me a lot of trouble, but
I just don't know why it saves. It doesn't save me time. I find it very quick. Chain 4, make a circle. You're good to go.
well, and a chain 4 is not coming undone. It's just not.
No. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't like it. I just want to answer this. When someone does this to me, I tell them there's no human being on earth who can make what you just sent me. Or I can make it, but it will never, ever, ever look like this picture you sent me.
Yeah, so I think the easiest thing to do is say, well, that's AI. And if you've ever seen an AI picture where people's hands and stuff look weird, it's probably the same thing with that. So we could try to do something similar, but it might not be identical.
Yeah. Okay, here's some more quick questions. Sewing in ends. Do you enjoy it or put it off until you absolutely have to do it?
I don't hate sewing in ends. I just hate when it's really time consuming. So my if I'm making squares, I do try to sew in ends as I go. I'm not always perfect about that, but sewing in ends does not make me mad. I get really irritated when it is taking the same amount of time as the whole dang project took to sew in all the ends.
That's what I'm dealing right now with the Grafgan. There's literally thousands. I don't hate them. I find it almost soothing sometimes, right? It's just mindless. I'm not
I try to
having,
come
but
up with ideas or ways that I can get around it. Like I do envelope borders a lot. If I'm doing a row by row to where you have a ton of ends on the end, I will literally you tie a knot where the colors meet on the end, and then I do a single crochet row and envelop them all in there, and then I do all my border and stuff on top of that, and it all just disappears in the envelope border anyway.
yeah,
So I get around it in places like that because you can't get around it on like a granny square.
yeah. Okay, are you a knife holder or a pencil holder?
I am a knife holder. I cannot pencil hold for nothing. I've tried.
Knife holders unite. What right now, if you had to, without thinking, okay, first thing you're going to say, if I ask you, Matt, what's your favorite yarn?
Oh,
You can't think.
I know. I'm trying to think about it. I would say my favorite yarn company is Premier, because they're affordable and they have a lot of options. I get irritated when they discontinue a line that I
Oh,
really like. I would say that if I had to pick a a yarn line, it would be Premier Basic Worsted, because they have 93 colors. So they
mhm.
have a really big color
I
lineup.
love it. I love
And there's
them.
lots of stuff that you can do with it. I just want them to expand the multi lineup.
Yeah, I'm hoping we're going to see a lot more where they've, yeah, I love Premier too because they still are affordable, like you said, because like I have to convert everything to Canadian, and their basic is so soft. It's not like a Red
It is,
Heart basic.
yeah, it's very soft.
So Red Heart's
Plump.
getting softer. So
It's plump. It's a thicker 4-weight yarn. It's really enjoyable to work with. I like it a lot. Um, it's a good yarn. So that's a
and you get a
workhorse
lot.
yarn to me. I think that the Premier Basics is a workhorse yarn, but Red Heart has better options for variegateds.
Yes, yeah, they do. But what I love is I can put them together
Yeah,
too. So that helps. And you get a lot of yarn in the basics. Like those skeins are like
they're sizable.
they're really good. Puzzle Shimmer. Why would they cancel Puzzle Shimmer? It had to be a popular. Everyone always talks about in my comments on my videos. Yes,
Mhm.
Lynn, why did they cancel it? It seemed to be a big seller, so I don't know why they would stop making it.
I don't know either. I really liked it. I know a lot of people that ordered it. I ordered it. So unless that they were having a difficult time getting the thread to work with it or something like that. I don't know. But I do hope that that does come back. And that's, again, that's, if I had to say one gripe about Premiere, they don't cancel their main stuff. Like they don't cancel
Right.
puzzle and basics and their gradients and stuff like that. So those stay around. But some of the other ones, I feel that they do cancel them too quickly sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, Premier is definitely one, but I mean, a lot of yarn companies lately, it seems like just when you start falling in love with something, they cancel it, they discontinue it. And they discontinued it almost, it's been like since last summer, I think the word came out that that was being discontinued. And I thought, okay, they're going to come up with something comparable at Christmas time. And they didn't. Well,
Well,
I guess the luster shimmer and the gradient glitter, they're kind of, but they're still
I
not.
think that they're going to do something with the puzzle because they discontinued like 6 or 7 colorways of the puzzle a couple months back, and they had clearance them out and stuff like that. So my hope is that they do expand that. I will lose a lot of faith in Premiere if they get rid of puzzle
Oh,
because I feel like that's how I found Premiere was through the
yes.
puzzle yarn.
It's their what do you call it? It's
It's their
their
staple to them, yeah.
yeah, like it's I just can't imagine. People think puzzle Premier. Like I just can't
Yeah,
imagine. So I hope
they
they
have the
don't.
best puzzle yarn on the market, period, hands down.
Yes. Yeah. Again, you get a lot too in those skeins. You can make a baby blanket out of not a whole lot of them.
But
So
they could absolutely have some more colors for sure.
yeah. I think the main thing you need to know, Sue, if you buy hand dyed yarn, is they're not all going to be 100% perfect. Like that's kind of the beauty of them. You're going to have variation of color and things in them.
So, and I would say the hand thing that you need to, the main thing you need to know with buying hand dyed yarns, if they, whatever microns that they say, the higher the micron, the softer it is. So, like Crystal over Bagaday, she uses the 19 micron superwash merino. So I would say try to go 18 or above on the micron. That's going to keep it really nice and soft. I love hand dyed yarns. I found that there's a lot of variations in thickness and weight. So, for example, I have one that I bought that was DK, and that thing's a fingering all day long. It does
Yeah.
not feel like a
Yeah.
DK. The typically the companies or people that are making the hand dyed yarns are knitters, and they make them for knitters.
Right.
So, as a crocheter, I like to have even crystals 4 weight. I feel is really light. It's like a thick 3. It's not really a 4.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be as thick as what you would expect. But you just find a good hand dyed yarn company, in my opinion. If hand dyed yarn feels inaccessible to you because it feels expensive to you, the 2 best companies that I know of is Cozy P is one of them. It's COZYPEA.co, and Sandhill Yarns. Both of them, Sandhill sells their hanks for $15 a hank, and Cozy P sells their hanks for $20 a hank. But Cozy P drops a lot of yarn, like 5 or 6 different colorways every Saturday, and Sandhill drops 5 or 6 colors every Sunday, and they are sold out that same day. So it's kind of like you just buy what you would need for whatever project that you're thinking of making. They're going to have different colorways the next week. So it's not like you can't be like, let me get this color and I'll come back 2 weeks from now or a month from now if I end up needing more of that. You got to buy enough to finish whatever project that you're thinking
Yes.
of making. But they're the ones, like, if you wanted to dip your toes into it, they are a very good one. Another very good one, which is actually sold on Premiere, is Malabrigo Rios. It's Rios. They sell them for 15, 16, 8, I think it's like $18 on Premiere's website. And they're also a really good one too.
And yes, Ashton's right. You'll need a yarn winder and a Swift.
Yes, yes,
Sure. Yeah.
because they do come in hank form, and you have to be able to undo them. Now, there are like my Swift. I'll show it to you because it's right here in my drawer. My Swift cost me $20 on Amazon, and it's just this little metal one that clamps onto the table. The wood ones are like $100.
My husband got me a wood one for my birthday 3 years ago.
They're expensive.
They can
This
get
one works.
expensive.
The cheaper ones, in my opinion, if you're just using it for as a hobbyist here and there, get a cheapo one for a Swift, and then for a yarn winder, they have the hand crank ones, which you can find for $7 to $10 on Amazon. But I bought this electric one
That's
plugs
what
in,
I have.
and it is $35 or $38 on Amazon. So your Swift and this, you can get them both for $50 all in.
Yeah.
But I don't have to hand crank this. There's like a little knob on the side that you just turn.
Yeah, I got that one the beginning of the year, the electric one. I still have my big hand crank because that one I can do like insane huge cakes if I want. It's a big one. The electric one is so nice, and my son likes using it, so I can get him. I'll be like, "Hey, you feel like caking up some yarn?" And he'll go over because he finds it neat to use it. So it's like, yeah. I got mine really good deal because it was like a Amazon Prime Day or something, or after, I can't remember. And I think I paid less than 30 Canadian. So I really like
Before
it.
I had
Even
this
the really
Swift,
expensive ones, like they have them way up there. And I will say, I think
someone
Matt's thing about the Swift is better because as much as I love my wooden one and as beautiful it is, I don't really use it a whole lot.
No, I mean, some of them are very expensive and they're very nice, but I don't use mine every day. You know, I don't even use it every week. I use it on occasion, and so, you know, I got the cheapo one. It works just fine for me. I don't need anything super fancy. Some people say that they use the back of a like a dining room chair as a Swift. I have tried that. My dining room chairs must be different than other people's dining room chairs because I couldn't get it to work right.
Yeah, no, I have some beautiful hanks from it's Arcane Fiberworks. They're a Canadian.
Oh my gosh, those are expensive.
Yeah, yeah, and he actually sent me them as to try and to talk about on my other channel, and I just fell in love with them. The problem is I have one of a bunch of them, so I've never known what quite not to. I think I'm going to end up doing like a sampler blanket. Just it's not going to go together. They're not meant to.
A sampler blanket is a really good thing to do with that. I have a bunch of ones that are in different color variations and stuff too. So yeah, Arcane Fiberworks is like $35 per hank.
Yeah.
They're not cheap.
No.
And so it's more of a, I look at it like it's a treat yourself moment.
Yes.
Get something nice, but it's not what I'm going to buy for my regular everyday stuff. I look at I don't know if you've ever seen on YouTube. There's a YouTuber called Another Yarn, and I love her. She has an awesome channel. She does a lot of knitting. She does crochet, but she knits more than she crochets. But
Okay.
her whole stock is hand dyed yarn.
Hand dyed. There are people who that's like they say they're yarn snobs. Like they're only going to use. To me, if I want to make a blanket, like if I was to go to Arcane Fiberworks, it would cost me like $400 or $500 in yarn.
I'm telling you, well, so the reason why knitters use it more frequently is because knitting takes 30% less yarn than crocheting does.
Yeah.
And so they don't need as much of it. So
exactly. So it goes further. So for them, the knitting is cheaper than crocheting in that sense that you don't need to use as much yarn. But yeah, it's beautiful yarn it's just gorgeous. And I was gonna like, I could make a bunch of socks, I guess, but I think I'm just gonna do all of it as a sampler.
So there was on, I get a lot of if I'm not getting it from Sandhill or Cozy P, I get it from Etsy. And there's a lot of companies that have really great stuff on Etsy, and they are $30 about $25 to $30 a hank. So it's like it's a moment. I really want to get that because I absolutely love that colorway, or I have something in mind. They are really great for if you're going to make a scarf and hat for somebody,
Yeah.
or for yourself, that you really, because they're wool, they're superwash wool, so it's going to be warm. But if you wanted to make something like really special for somebody, that that they're really going to love, that is a good option.
Yeah. And if you're someone who doesn't have the stinking yarn stash like I do, you literally buy yarn as whatever you're going to make for that project. That's all you buy. You make the project, and then I wish I was like that.
I wish I was too.
Unfortunately, I see a project. I'm like, oh, I got to get yarn for that, even though I'm probably not going to make it for 6 months.
People see my yarn room and say, "This looks like a Joann's in here."
I was just saying to my husband, I literally think I could open a yarn store at this point. Like and I'm not even making fun of it anymore. Like it's really truly become it's become an issue just because I've run out of room and we're trying to sell our house. I just keep bringing in more yarn that I got to find somewhere to put so I can make the house not look so full of yarn.
Well, so my next plan is I'm going to do a little destashing
Yeah.
of the stuff that I've had for a while that I don't love.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
want
I
to
did
go
that
through
back in
and say,
February. Yep.
so not my staples, not my Red Heart or my Premier Basics. Like those I can use. I'll always find a use for that. But some of
Yeah.
the more individualized yarns that I had purchased that I just don't love anymore, I'm gonna find I'll either put them in my Etsy shop, or I might do a like a auction style on my channel. It would be more in like a live format or something like that. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to destash some of
Yeah.
this. I have really nice yarn, and some people might love it and think that it was awesome for them.
That's what I did in February, and I just end up putting it on Marketplace, and I sold a little bit of it, and then finally one woman reached out to me, and I'm like, if you agree to take all of it, I will give you the deal of a century. And she came and got all of it, and she sent me pictures on Facebook Messenger of what she's made with some of it, and I'm so happy that someone found use for it because it
Yeah.
was either yarn I just didn't love anymore, my taste had changed, or I'm like, I know I'm not going to get to it for a long time. There's something else I'd rather make. So, and she's been able to make so many things out of it. So
I have like some blanket yarn and some chenille yarn and some what's the other one? A fleece, like
yeah,
that forever fleece and stuff. And
yeah,
I'm like, I had really good intentions for it when I purchased it, but it's sitting on the shelf and it will never be lifted off the shelf.
yeah. I agree. It was a lot of similar yarns. I'm like, it ended up being not what I thought it was gonna, so it's not for me. So yeah, I might be doing a big destashing on Etsy too again.
Well, so a really good thing that I've seen some people do on Etsy is they create mystery boxes, and
That's
then
yeah,
they
yeah,
list those.
and getting my mystery box from Catherine this week was so much fun. So I think, yeah,
Even Crystal at Bag a Day sells mystery boxes.
yeah,
She doesn't have them on there all the time, but I've seen them on there before, and she sells them for like $100.
yeah,
But she'll sell like $100, and it's like a tote size
yeah.
box.
And for me too, with my channel, which you probably find, I often buy yarns just for the channel
That you wouldn't buy normally. Yeah.
because I want, because people's asked me about it and I want to be able to give my honest opinion. Or I only bought one of them. I like it, but it's maybe not something I'm going to buy a bunch more of to make something. So it's like, what do I do with one skein of it? Right. So yeah. So for me too, I know that my buying is going to be changing in the next year when my husband retires fully, and that's going to change the budget. So I'm also thinking about that.
Yeah, and like you said before, a lot of the yarn companies are going up in pricing on some of the things. And so you do want to be able to have a stash that you got a good deal on that yarn.
Yep.
And it's something that you're going to use. Like I have things in here as I'm looking around, I'm like, I will use that. I'm not
Yeah.
going to use it tomorrow, but I will use that and I will make something fun from it.
and it's the things I'm making for myself are colors I have loved my whole life. So that's not going to change whether it's today or 5 years from now.
Yep.
So, and I'm also the type when I want to make my project, I want to get my yarn, sit down and start. I don't
Yep.
want to have to worry about, oh, I don't have enough or I don't got this color. So I also buy for that. And we're going to be more rural where we're moving. Again, I don't want to have to go into the car and go find or wait for something to come online. So yeah, but my stash is getting, I'm just looking at all the boxes on the floor. I have some totes. I'm going to be putting them in today. So,
Yeah, I bought some totes, and I started utilizing them a little bit more. You'll see my video that comes out tomorrow, and you'll think that I'm absolutely insane. But
yeah, no, I don't usually like to keep them in totes because typically out of sight, out of mind. But I have clear totes, and I've made labels so I know what's in this yarn. So I'm like,
yes.
this yarn's going to be for the blanket. I have idea. So when I am going to look for it, I know where I have it.
So
So
clear totes for me are an absolute must.
yeah,
And what I've been using my totes for is like my solid color Premier Basics or my solid color Red Heart Super Saver.
yeah,
That's an easy one. All the reds and pinks are in this one, and all the blues
yeah.
and oranges are in this one.
I have a lot because we rented a storage locker to help declutter the house to help get it ready for sale. And I put a lot of my yarn down there for things I know I'm not going to be using right now, but it's a lot of my basics that I pull from. They're all down there right now. The problem is I've forgotten what's down there already.
Yeah.
I do, Sue. When I travel, I absolutely have projects. I have many project totes I've made or I've bought. And I have one that has like little places for your hooks, for your measuring tape, for your scissors. It has holes that you can pull the yarn up through so it doesn't get tangled. I got it off of Amazon. And they have them in different sizes. So I absolutely, because I'm not the driver, I'm the passenger princess. So I can crochet. I only have one more question for you, and this is going to be a hard one. What is your favorite hook? What is the one you're always reaching for?
I would say that's tough because it depends on the yarn. But I would say either my Furls Odyssey 2 hook. I reach for that a lot just because it's so smooth. I wouldn't take it anywhere because they are $38 a hook. They're not cheap. And that's American,
Yeah, yeah.
But they're newer to me, but these Etimo red ones, I have been reaching for these. So if it's not my Odyssey 2 hook, it's the Etimo reds.
Okay, good. Well, I can't wait to get mine and see what I think of it. So I said I had one more question, but that's not, I lied. There was one other thing. When you're crocheting, what is always within arm's reach? For me, it's always a cup of tea. There's always a cup of tea. Usually goes cold and I have to heat it up a million times, but I always have that in reach.
I would say a beverage or my phone because I watch a lot of YouTube while I crochet.
Yeah.
So I just have it on in the background, and that's why people see me in a lot of other people's lives and watching their videos, or I'll put a comment or things on there. I'm not just being a creeper. I'm literally just trying to stay occupied because my I've got the ADHD, so my brain doesn't calm down ever.
Never stops.
Never stops. It never stops. So the crocheting helps me because before I really started picking up the hook a lot more, I can't sit there and just sit somewhere. I can't be still.
It's awful.
My house was always spotless clean because I could never just sit there and
relax. My husband's always like, you can never just relax, Lynn. I'm like,
no, I can't. It's absolutely impossible for me. So the crochet does help. But even while I'm crocheting, I have to have something on in the background.
Me too. I watch a lot of YouTube on TV. I can do the thumbs up, but I have to go back to my phone to make a comment. So I may
Yeah.
not always comment, but I always give a thumbs up because I watch it on the TV, but I cannot watch a movie. I cannot like I have to have a project going all the time
Yep.
because it's more stressful for me. Like that,
It's harder
I
for
do
me.
it's how I relax. Like
It's
everyone's
harder
like,
for
"Oh, you
me
don't
to
relax."
go places and feel like, oh, I can't work on the crochet because then they're going to think I'm not paying attention to them. I've told my boss at work, because I work from home for my 9 to 5, and I've told my boss before that if you see me like crocheting on video in like a meeting, I'm not being rude. I'm not listening to you. I'm actually probably listening to you more when I'm
Yes.
doing that.
I actually have designed a t-shirt that I'm making that says, "If I can't take my crochet, I'm not going."
Right.
And I actually do. I pay attention unless I'm counting, and then I'm like, "Just give me a sec. I got like just
Yeah.
like when my family comes in, I'm like, and they know, and I'm like, okay, what do you need? Once I get to, because I'm like, don't make me stop counting. But it helps me. It does help me listen better. It helps me focus more. It
Mhm.
It's why I don't sleep well, because I lay my head down and everything in my last 50 some years of life goes through my
Oh, I know, me too. I cannot. I'm also a night owl. I will stay up late. Now I still have to wake up at 6:30 in the morning to get my kids ready and get ready for work and all that other
right.
stuff. But it's rare that I go to bed before midnight.
I used to be that way a lot, and then I stopped, and now the last couple of months I've started back again. But and like you said, I still get up pretty early. Like I was up late last night and I overslept a little bit today because I was up late working on a project. The old one more row
Oh, I know. Oh no,
turns
I
into
can't stop.
20.
Do you ever find yourself where you're like, this isn't a good stopping point? I have to get to a good stopping point, and you never find one.
And it's quiet at night because everybody else is in bed, so I am, like, not interrupted, it's quiet, it's just me, my crochet, whatever I have on the TV, so that kinda is one of the reasons I've been staying up later too. Also having a YouTube channel, it takes me a while. Like I would love to do more videos, but it takes me a while to do the thing I'm making for the video. So I
Oh
have to
yeah,
get that done.
there's a lot of background stuff, and I think the reason why I stay up so late sometimes is because sometimes I don't get all my kids in bed till 9 o'clock at night, and then it's like
Remember those
that's my
days?
me time.
Exactly. That's when you finally can decompress.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
Even having a husband who is military, he'd be in Afghanistan, and my kids usually went to bed fairly early because they were early risers. I have neurodivergent children, so I also have them who they didn't sleep well. Grace got better. Aiden, he was still 12 years old. He still doesn't sleep well, actually, and he's 19. He has Tourette syndrome, and Grace is autistic. And they would go to bed early, but they got up early,
Hmm.
like 5 a.m. So when I could finally get them down, I would need at least an hour or two before I went right to bed because
Right.
I had to. But I also have, I don't know, you probably do this too. I have a notebook by my bed because ideas for projects, videos, all that come to me. Like as I'm falling, and I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta write
I
that
have
down.
I
I have
have
a
the
notebook.
notes app on my phone, and
Yep,
it's got. If anyone ever looked at the notes app on my phone, they'd be like, "This is so random. You have so
yes,
many
I've been using more of it too because if I'm out somewhere and I don't have paper and pen, I'm like, I'm gonna forget that by the time I get home. So I write it down. So yeah, and I am a late diagnosed ADHD. I did not get diagnosed until a little less than 10 years ago.
Hmm. Same
And
here.
yeah, and I found out that it's very common in women to not be diagnosed earlier. And I've been offered like medication and stuff, but I'm like, at this point in my life, I am 50. How old am I? I lie about my age and then I forget how really old I am. I'm 51, gonna be 52 this year. I've lived this long with it. I think I've found coping mechanisms at this
Yeah.
point. I don't really know,
I,
like,
I think I think our generation didn't really get diagnosed with it
no,
unless you had the hyper form
yes.
of it to where you were hyperactive.
And that's what I
Um,
thought ADHD was. I
yeah,
had no idea that, and my son has ADHD too, but he doesn't have the crazy can't sit still.
I remember when I was a kid, one of my friends in school, I remember he had ADHD, but he had like the hyperform, like he would punch holes in walls and stuff like that.
Yeah, couldn't sit still.
And he was very disruptive and stuff in classes and all that and all that
Yeah.
in school. But the other ones of us who had the symptoms like what we have, that just wasn't it wasn't handled or diagnosed or anything like
I
that.
just
I
thought
didn't find out
hey.
for sure until I was 35. I'm 40 now, so
Yeah.
I found out 5 years ago.
Yeah, yeah, it's just been within the and my doctor said, like, "I can send you to a specialist," but I'm like, "What are they gonna tell me at this point in my life?"
Yeah,
Like, what are they, you know? And
we've
she's like,
learned,
"No, I agree."
like we said. I mean, I don't think that we need medication for everything. I think
No.
that there are some things that certainly do need medication, but
Yes.
I don't think that we need medication for everything just to make it go away or to make other people feel comfortable. I think that
Exactly.
I think that there are coping mechanisms that we develop over time that are absolutely fine. There are certainly unhealthy coping mechanisms, but as long as you have healthy ones,
Yeah.
then there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, and I shopping online for yarn has become one of mine, and that is not healthy. I need to like
It's hyperfixation. You get
it is. It's
hyperfixated on.
hyperfixation, and that's when we learned about it when my son was diagnosed with it. Because Tourette's usually does come with more than well, I mean, any neurodivergent diagnosis usually comes more than just with one. Like Grace has a couple others too, and the doctor was saying like he's so hyper focused to the detriment of him. Like he gets so like he cannot, you know. And I'm like, what do you mean hyper focused? I'm what is that? When they started talking, I looked at him and I'm like, oh my gosh,
You're
what?
like, I have that.
I'm like, what? So I went to my doctor and she had me do all these tests and everything. And like she said, we can certainly get even more of a diagnosis, but I feel comfortable saying, and I'm like, I am like 48 years old and I'm just now finding this out. Like that
Mhm.
is insane. And she's like, it's very common. And and like you said, and my generation, we were just starting to hear a little bit about it, maybe by the time I was in later elementary, junior high. But like you said, it was the kids who like were taking off running out of the class because they could just not help
Mhm.
themselves. They could not, you know, they couldn't steep.
Well, there's some people, it's like you can't ignore it. You can see it visibly that that's ADHD bad, you know.
Yeah.
And then some of us, it's just more internalized. It's like the way that our brain works or our thought process, or that we can't quiet the thoughts, or that we audibly talk to ourselves in our head,
Oh
where
yeah.
other people don't.
And we think I do this on my videos where I think I've said something, but it was only in my head.
Yeah, same.
And then someone will ask a question in the comments and I'm like, what? And I'll go watch the video. I'm like, oh, I thought I said it, but I only thought it. I didn't say it
Uh-huh.
out loud. So, when I think you'll get this, when we say we're mentally exhausted, it literally is almost like a physical mental exhaust because it is physically exhausting because
Yeah.
it does not stop. It does not stop. So again, I just always thought it was just something I didn't think it was anything. I just thought, okay, this is me. I had no idea there was, anything. So I guess the diagnosis helped because it helped me like, oh, that explains so much now.
Right.
You
Exactly.
but other than that, I mean, like I know I have friends who are on medication for it, and I've heard of other people, and it's been life changing for them. I
Mhm.
just don't think at this point in my life, I don't know if it's going to help me. And then I'm worried, what if it takes away my like focus on my crochet?
Well, so my husband has ADHD too, and they put him on medication, and he said that he just felt like he was like numb to the world, like he had no emotions about anything. And so he said he wanted to go off the medication. And I mean, at this point, we have our coping mechanisms and we figured out what works. And
Yeah. I
as
mean,
long
and
as
I
you have,
talked about, I have mental illness too. I've never talked about what I have because I've never been comfortable doing that, but I have struggled with that my whole life. Like that I've known I've had since I was like 13.
Mhm.
And have had to struggle with it. And yeah, the medications I was on, I did not feel any of the issues I was having with my mental illness, but I felt nothing.
Yeah,
Like
and
I
that's what Max said. He said when they had him on the medication for it, it was like he had no emotions or feelings.
None. I actually put us in a little bit of trouble because I did not worry about paying a bill because I didn't have that worry that, that I didn't care. I didn't care. I felt like I literally like, I'm going to go do this instead of paying the phone bill. And I would do it because I did not have that emotion you need. Is like, no, you need to pay your phone bill. Like I didn't have
Yeah.
it. I just didn't care. And luckily I like realized was recognizing it. And I said to my husband, like, I literally like nothing is like, I feel nothing.
That's why I think that there are, like I said, there are certain things where medication is needed, but
Yes.
it, we don't have to medicate ourselves to the point that we're just trying to make other people feel comfortable.
Yeah,
We have to be able to function, and sometimes medication is needed for functioning, and sometimes
exactly.
it's
Yeah.
not. Like you're
Sometimes the
able.
medication is worse than the cure is worse than the actual disease.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I just, yeah, yeah, see, crochet, look, so many people, and this is why I don't mind talking about it because I know I am not alone in this. And
I
yeah,
feel a lot of
crochet,
crocheters um, have at least a touch of neurodivergency in some way, shape, or form, and we found this as being a really good outlet for our mental health and an outlet for coping. At least I have, and I know I've talked to a lot of other people that feel that way too.
yeah, yeah, it just, yeah, and we do tend to be um creative people.
Yeah,
Right? And it just tends to, I'm not analytical. I'm not like the math and all that. That part of me it's I don't have that, but I feel like I've always been creative and like you always wanting to do my own thing and always wanted to go, never having the confidence though to do my own thing because I thought, oh, I'm supposed to be this modern woman who's supposed to want to have this and do this and do this and
that's
um,
why I love this community so much that we have here, is because people have asked me, they're like, oh, you've become like an influencer or whatever, and I'm like, not really. I'm
I
just
hate
like,
that word.
I found my little bit of community, and I feel like, at least in the crafting and crochet community, no one's mean. You're not running into mean people. You might have somebody who leaves a mean comment on an occasion, but for the most part,
For
like
the most part, it's been positive. I've
for the
had a
most
little
part,
bit.
it's very positive. And a lot of people who go on social media, on TikTok and Instagram and all those other things, I had posted some videos on TikTok like back in the pandemic and stuff like that, and I was trying to get into doing some of those things. And I stopped because I couldn't handle how many mean people there were who were getting behind their keyboards and just saying horrible things. And I have not experienced that at all in this community. I think that's why I love it so much here.
I haven't experienced to the point where it makes me want to stop. I have had some, and I will erase some things. I will, just because I
I
don't.
just block people if they say
Yeah,
something really mean. I block them immediately.
and I don't want to cause drama in my comments because
Yeah,
the whole reason I started this channel is because I was tired of all that. But yeah, I absolutely love this community. And I think as crocheters, I think why we love it so much is because as a crocheter, you're just natural giver, right?
yeah.
Like you're kind, and I just think that kind of resonates with all of us because you're usually making things to give away or donate or whatever, So yeah, the best thing I did was finally doing because I do have another channel that I've been doing for 5 years. My other half of my life where we do homesteading and things like that. And I love that I decided to separate them because I do feel like it's two Lynn's. Lynn you get over there is not the same Lynn you get over here. And I love that. And it's another way of being creative, having a YouTube channel. Like to me, I like the editing. Well, I don't hate the editing. I've learned more about computer tech than I ever wanted to learn in my life.
So I try to. I have done. I've gotten more editing. I have a good editing software on my phone. I still record everything on my phone, other than when I'm doing lives. I do that on my computer. But I have a really good editing software that I use on my phone, and I've gotten better with it. But it's time consuming.
It
It
is.
certainly is.
Yeah. I never want to obviously I want my channel to be so successful as it can be, but I would never want it to get so big that I couldn't honestly, what I would love, if I'm a bit of a control freak, again, ADHD, so it's hard for me to give up the reins, but I would love to just record all day long, record, and send all that footage to somebody to edit in my style for me, get it all done, and then I could upload. In a
There
way,
are
that
some
could do
people who
that.
have in the millions
Yes.
who have that.
Yeah.
They have somebody who does that.
Yeah.
And you always wonder, like, how do they post so much and how do they have such a huge amass following? Well, they're not doing it all by themselves. So
Right. No, they're not. Oh, thank you. This was my winner of my 3,000 subscriber giveaway. That was supposed to arrive yesterday, Lois, so I hope it did. Yeah, because I would probably post more if I didn't have to take the time to edit too.
well, the problem is, it's like you can make these videos and you can edit and do all that other stuff, but then you also have to make the stuff too. So
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why I do like to order some yarn, because it helps me have some content for my
Yes.
channel as well.
And that's a slippery slope, because then
Yeah, it is a slippery slope, but it allows me to be able to make a video where I don't have to like make something behind it and do a lot of the
yeah,
behind the scenes work too.
I agree.
So,
Yeah, and
you know,
it
that's
gives me a
why I like to do
chance
them.
it kind of gives me a chance to talk with everybody. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Even though, you know what I mean? Like, it's a chance to, hi, stopping in. Yeah, I have another yarn haul, but it's also a way of getting
right.
my face and seeing you all. And hopefully I can tell you what I'm going to be doing with it. I have been doing more swatches of the yarns I've been getting and trying to get those done, because Granny Square is a little bit quicker. So I've been trying to do that because I love that. It's fun. And I like to see what it looks like worked up. Because like I said, you can't judge a yarn by its skein.
No,
So, wow, we've gone really far over. We could probably talk all day, but my stomach is telling me, Lynn, you've ate nothing today. Because again,
I know, me too.
yeah. So, Matt, thank you so much for coming on. This was a lot of fun. We definitely will have to do this more often. It's nice to find someone who loves crochet and yarn. Doesn't think you're crazy about it.
Absolutely.
Makes you feel,
Absolutely.
and
No
yeah.
craziness,
So
just passion, right?
just passionate. Yeah. And I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. I learned a lot about your blanket designing and stuff. It really was eye opening, and I can't wait to see what you're going to have coming up soon. I am joining your crochet along in July. I'm so looking forward to that, because it makes me get the sweater made, because I bought that yarn to make a sweater. So it was almost like, the heavens opened up and said, there's your right there. Now you have to make it.
Right, exactly. There we go.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for coming in. There is a video out tomorrow. What is tomorrow? It's a yarn haul with samples, though, with samples, brand new yarns from Premier. And it was fun. They were really fun. So thank you all so much for dropping in. We had a lot of people in the chat, and make sure if you're not subscribed, you check out Matt's channel. Oh, before we go, Matt, where can people find your written patterns? Shoot, I meant to mention that earlier.
Any written patterns that I have are available in my Etsy shop. My Etsy shop is just called Gilded Loop Crochet, just like my YouTube handle. And I have like 10 or 12 patterns in there. And all the patterns that I do right up in there are uniquely designed by me.
Yep. And I actually bought this one, and it was very well written, very easy to understand. Highly recommend. Had no issues. So could not say enough. And I did put a review on there for you.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I have my my latest one is my color pooling project. If you didn't get a chance to check that out, I posted a video yesterday on that, and it is color pooling using the Granny row by row stitch, and I do have a written pattern for that too.
Okay, awesome. All right, everyone. You all have a great week, and we will see you next Wednesday, I think. I got to double check. Oh, wait, next Wednesday is Canada Day. Oh, it is. Oh, I might not be on. I'll have to decide. I don't think we're necessarily doing anything, but I'll let you all know in the comment or in the community post if I can't go live next week. But until then, there'll be a video tomorrow, and hopefully I can finish the other one today to have it out Saturday. So bye, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Thanks. Bye.